And that's why I'm never driving one of those cars again.
Never.
I
It's just a horrible idea.
No, I can't do it again. It's the size of it was too small, way too small.
I,
And
I,
when and if we plan on going anywhere, there's no way we can fit Larry, Hurt, you, and myself in it. So we
If I
have.
sit on your lap, I'll fit.
Oh, well, you tried, and then you were actually side saddling me and Dan in the middle.
I can fit almost anywhere.
So, so if that's where he was sitting, how were you shifting?
Dan was sitting.
I would just move my butt.
Oh man,
Larry.
Larry, we can't bring you on the stream.
No, I know.
We can't bring Larry on the stream.
Second time on the stream, last time.
No, yeah, we said that last time. Oh my God, boys! Welcome Tuesday. Today is another day with another wizard. We have Machine Gun Larry here in the chat today. Is that like? So hold on. Larry, instead of doing high fives and shaking people's hands now, because obviously we have to have social distance. Right. So when you're 6 feet away from people, do you just go as a greeting? Hey, Larry, good to meet you.
Yeah.
That's
what? Yeah, I mean, hopefully when all this is over, we'll like get to just bowing, like
go back. Yeah, we could do that. Except
that's how it is when you go to Japan. Everyone is just, there's no touching going on.
Yeah, you just bow. The thing is, I usually bow too close and headbutt my other competitor, so I got to figure out the social distancing a little bit better.
That's your strategy. You just take them out.
Chat. Welcome to the stream. By the way, Discord popping off. Let's get you guys in Discord pretty quickly here, because we're going through best and worst project cars. You guys already submitted some links, but to give you an idea on the show before we get there, what we're looking is for some of the coolest cars, some of the coolest project cars. And if you have any type of start to finish build process, there's a lot of good forums out there. There's a lot of good websites that have build documentations. Drop them in Discord in the best and worst section so we can go through and review them. We've kind of made our own list on what we think some of the best and worst project cars are, but let's go ahead and take a look at what you guys have submitted. We'll be digging that later on. We'll give you guys about 20-30 minutes to start building up that channel. So find your links, find your photos, drop them in Discord. And as you guys can only imagine, we have Larry here, which Larry's probably seen almost every single car in the world, even the tiny car that we were driving in down in Tijuana that one day. I don't know what we were doing down there, but
BMW Isetta, right?
That was one of the sure. But Larry, what the hell you been doing? What's your quarantine like?
It's been good. It's just been kind of digging through the archive, and we've been taking our personal cars out just on solo drives and shooting those, which has been fun. We're editing a lot of our backlog of videos. So if you see all the stuff that's been going up on Hoonigan Autofocus, that stuff is, from December, January, February. And actually what's going on up on Friday is my event coverage from the last worldwide event before the shutdown, which was WRC Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just been kind of going through our archival stuff and, going camping and trying to just kind of keep away from everyone, just taking the family out. We went to public lands and, not a soul in sight. So just trying to keep busy,
I was going to say, this is probably the longest amount of time consistently you've been not on an airplane somewhere.
Yeah. It's crazy because when that shutdown actually started, I was in mainland Mexico, and it was one of those things where I was trying to change my flight to get back home. But as soon as I refreshed the page, like I clicked it like 1 second too late, the prices to change my flight maybe went up 5 times. Wow. So I was worried I was going to be stuck in mainland Mexico because I was down there for WRC. Basically, everyone tried to leave. And if you look right now, for example, American Airlines, I think they only have 3 international flights. So it would have been bad if I was stuck in Mexico. But I figured, you know what? I'll just take my rental car and I'll just drive across the border. I'll just head straight for the border if that happened. But yeah, it's been weird to be home and not flying. I mean, traditionally, you and I, we would all be in Long Beach right now in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Today was supposed to be Formula Drift, the opening day, which is a media day / press day. But for us, we take it as a day to shoot practice, and the top 16 guys will actually go out there and practice while they're giving out rides to media. And, we'll get a couple shots then, but we'll also do everyone's headshots. Like today is supposed to be picture day for all of Formula Drift,
Like the first day of school?
Yeah, first day of school. They have their suits that are not yellowed or destroyed from them working on the cars. They're all looking fresh and nice and new. And everyone's happy to kind of be there. Start of the season, Unfortunately, we're not there.
So what does go ahead, Dan.
I love media day. I think it's awesome.
Media day is great. It is like the first day of school, right? Coming back, you get to see all these people that you didn't see for 5-6 months.
Yeah, the first day back, everybody that you haven't seen because you're so far apart from each other, and then it's just a big reunion. Not a whole lot of work gets done, but
yeah, one of the things that people don't realize about Formula Drift is that it's such a worldwide series. There's just so many teams. I feel like there's almost more teams, foreign teams, than U.S.-based teams. I mean, that's what it seems. If the Wardhouse guys keep killing it, maybe they're going to inspire other people from across the world to kind of try to join Formula Drift. But it really is a worldwide series.
And you got Osbo bringing out the new Supra this year too. So
yeah, I'm excited about that. I actually had a chance to drive that car. I was the second person. Steph was the first person to drive it. I was the second person to drive it. And then as soon as I was done driving it, I pulled it in. He took a wrench and just started taking it apart. First thing he took out was the AC system, just like right then and there. And that was it. It wasn't a street car anymore after that.
And here we are sitting at me.
Be dangerous.
Oh boy.
That car is going to be dangerous. Because if we want to argue, we could say the best project car is anything that Papa Doc has built.
I did. Dude.
We can't compare. We're already thinking about this, and then after that just popped in my head is that Supra. I was like, man, that's probably one of the coolest cars out right now. So.
Dude, and we should actually see if we can get Steph on today at some point to maybe talk about it. Because that Supra, he's been doing a killer job with his YouTube and his content creation. And Larry, you've actually worked with Steph on a bunch of photo stuff in the past.
Yeah, so when he's actually, for example, when he was putting the engine back together, I was in his clean room and I was photographing it while he was shooting. And it's so crazy to see how methodical he is about everything, about all of the shots. The thing that's going to blow everyone's mind is that he shoots it himself. He doesn't have help. Yeah. He sets up a tripod, he sets up his lights, and then when he has to shoot at another part of the shop, he has to move all of that one piece by one piece.
It doesn't actually blow my mind because shooting video isn't as hard as people might think it is, but does he edit it himself?
Yeah, he edits it himself.
That's impressive.
He does the voiceovers.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, he does the voiceover in his head while he's doing things like, I watched him put the crank in and stuff like that. So he'll put it in, but then he'll also point to certain things, and he's narrating in his head. He's not actually saying it out loud. He's like, okay, look at this.
Thoughts. How does he record his thoughts, Larry?
Just has this thing that just hooks to the back of his brain. But it's something else to watch, and it's so simple. There's no music, there's no fancy graphics, there's no memes. It's the craziest thing. It's so simple, and it's raw, and it's information. That's what people like. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, no, he does make great content, but the fact that he edits it himself is the more impressive part, because shooting is easy. Right. Like setting up a nice shot is actually easy. but editing it and making it flow well and making it breathe the right way, and that's the hard part. So,
and part of it is that the way he explained it to me, he told me that he can't have anyone else edit it because he's the only one who knows about this stuff. You know, you could make a very big mistake as an editor to show this part going in the wrong order, or
if
not
actually if he's got top secret. I'm sorry. If he's got top secret things too, somebody could throw his trade secret right out the window. You know,
he has nothing to hide. That's the crazy thing. Like, that's why he's doing this series, and that's why he's been so open. Anytime I go to the shop, I'm like, hey, is there anything I can't shoot? Nothing. I can show everything because, hey, he's actually taking drifting to the next level in that there's so many teams that potentially are building cars that are on the same level, but he's actually showing everyone what he's doing, right? So hopefully it kind of inspires some of these mom and pop teams to kind of step it up. With that said, yeah, he can't have someone else do it because whatever is happening in his brain, he's the only one that knows about it. Like, he's the mad scientist. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah, and talk about somebody that knows how to build a proper project car. And Larry, you've seen some of his builds up close. Everything on it is specifically built for a reason, and a reason in that it's intended to do something. If it's lightweight, functional, stronger durability, there's always a purpose to everything he puts on the car.
Everything, including one of the craziest things is how much they design everything to be able to swap in and out quickly. You guys have seen it in the Formula Drift pits. They could swap the whole motor and tranny in 40 minutes. You know, so if something happens, they're really on the cutting edge of that, right? They're pushing so much power out of that motor.
Oh my God!
You know, the 2AR. Right? They're pushing so much power out of that thing. They have to be able to swap it if something goes wrong.
I'm sorry, but somebody said, "What up, Hurt, Soupy, and Dan?" That's put some respect on my boy Larry Chen's name. Okay, I will not allow that. I will not allow it. All right, don't play games. All right,
Soupy,
don't play games with us. Jeez. Oh my goodness.
Man, sooner Dan's gonna be called Chair Slayer. We got Soupy, Chair Slayer, and Hurt.
Oh man, that's ridiculous. Okay, put some respect on it.
So going back to the best and worst project car, that's kind of the idea and the theme of the show. We got to figure out what's the best and worst. We kind of spent some time taking around. Chat, you're doing your job right now and filling up the Discord with what you think is the coolest project car ever made. And everybody kind of has, I think everybody has their own reason on what they look for, which makes the perfect project car. What would you guys consider? What would you look for when you're building a project car?
Everybody silent. I'll go first.
Yeah, shit, Dan, you're the builder.
For me, I mean, I like the functionality of everything. So I am very happy to see stuff like what you were just mentioning with Papadakis, that everything that he makes is able to come in and out super fast, right? And everything has a really good function, or even multiple functions, which is one of the ones that I picked today. Is multiple functions. So the car that can do almost everything. And I love to see that. Just thinking outside the box of like, this is not just designed for this, it's designed for this and this and this. And that's pretty cool to me.
What about you, Larry?
I think for me, it's more about the story and the culture aspect of it. The project cars range from just a bolt-on car with cool graphics, or something like Papadakis' creations, where it's completely Frankenstein and there's nothing else like it in the world. It's so much more about just the story, because you know, anybody, if you are doing well for yourself, anybody can go out and buy a fast car, an expensive car, a good-looking car. But to create it yourself, even if it's just doing bolt-ons, make it your own. That's what's cool for me. Right.
Hurt, what's your project car category? What do you look for in a cool project car?
I mean, basically the top two are sounds cool, looks cool.
Ooh, okay.
So those are very important functions of a best project car.
Yeah.
Obviously there are many different levels to project cars. So how Dan was saying, how quickly things can come off and on. Papadakis is the king of that with coming from, I guess, his drag racing days. But
Yep.
you can watch him pull the motor out of any Osmos race cars in 30 minutes and put it back together in 30 minutes, which is absolutely insane, you know. So like while practice is going on, if they have a failure, they can rebuild it and get back out to practice before it's over, which is a crazy thing. But then you go to Larry's point, and like the story aspect of it all plays a huge role in it too. I love the story of my personal car, like like the Twerkstein's been through a lot, and I love the story of that build. That to me, that build has a lot of history. And
I'm glad you brought that up, because sorry to interrupt, but your story behind that car is so cool.
Yep.
That you street drove that. That was the whole street sharking thing, right?
Yeah.
At one point, but one of the things that I remembered when I first saw that car, when I first featured that car, when it didn't have any livery at all, you actually pointed out that you were drifting and you pushed the gas pedal so hard that you bent the gas pedal. And so like those kind of stories, that's what I love. I think that's so interesting to me. It may be just a stupid thing, but for me, it's the overall story of the car, the texture. And one of the things I photograph your car many, many, many times, right? You're always like, putting the arrow back in, like trying to hide all this stuff. I'm like, look, I like all of that stuff. I like the broken pieces. I like the texture. I like the zip ties. I like that you have a WrestleMania Steve Austin action figure inside of it, and that's become part of the car. And in essence, when I did shoot it for the cover of Super Street, it was like a snapshot of what that car was like at that time, because it's an ever evolving project. That's what a project car is. And it may not look anything like what it was back then when I had that, frozen snapshot in time. But it's cool. It's a cool thing.
Story is important, man. They play a huge role in what a best build could be for me. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, sounds cool, looks cool is an easy way to.
Yeah.
So you don't like Bissy's electric 935 then? It doesn't sound like anything.
Well, it's a wild build for sure.
Yeah.
It's not something I dislike. If I had those kind of pockets, would it be something I'd ever built? Probably not. Like that. I don't really. I don't know. I guess I'm basic, if so to speak. I don't dream about building things like that. I don't. And even if I had the means, I wouldn't do it. If I was a millionaire, people would probably hate me for my career. Like I wouldn't own a bunch of crazy things like the Gambala Mirage GT or anything like that. Just those cars just don't make sense to me.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying before, like it doesn't, for me, everyone calls me the supercar hater because supercars don't really do it for me, They're flashy. And yeah, if you earned enough money to pay for one, good for you, but it's you've just blended in.
Yeah.
Right.
You have one of my dream cars, the R32 GTR. That's a bucket list car for me for sure.
Oh yeah, that's like growing up, watching Initial D, everything, playing Gran Turismo, right? Gran Turismo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
That's it. Like that was the one for me. So
Corey sent me a video.
So click on that video, Hurt, real quick. I sent her a video for Best and Worst Project Car. So this video is a Gambala Porsche.
Wait, that one crashed today.
Hold on, Larry. Hold on. Go ahead, play this video, Hurt. Play this video. So this is a great car. Okay, 780,000.
Wait, I'm not optimized, am I?
This is $780,000 sports car. I've driven a Porsche Carrera GT. and they're mini rocket ships. They're incredibly hard to drive, and they're built to go 200 miles an hour.
Dang, I forgot you were a race car driver, Corey.
Oh,
Man, you're a bulky wallet.
Corey isn't actually a scumbag drifter. He started his career as an elegant, a very elegant race car driver. I don't know why it's looking so crappy though. Let me refresh. I don't want to play a. There we go. There we go.
So we're fully optimized right now. Listen, dude. These things are absolutely nuts.
I like that 300 SL in the background.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what I like. Forget
So-
everything else.
Oh, Lambo rolls by and flex. All right, so Hurt, I also sent you a link. So that's a good car right there. I love those cars. But then you can easily turn one of those into a project car if you click the link right above that video.
Oh my god.
So in case you guys haven't been in the internet or living on Instagram for the past day, you may have seen this happen to it.
I think this happened this morning.
It went
right?
from a cool car to now a project car. So it sounds like the story of this, the dude was just racing around and ended up stuffing it. That's not even the crazy part.
Dude.
Scroll down
Yeah.
a little bit, Hurt. Scroll down. There's
There's
a video.
of him driving away.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep going
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Right there.
Oh, it is
Watch
so
this.
good.
I don't even want to
Watch. Click on that. No,
just watch
just
it,
click
just
on
watch
it.
it.
No,
Watch what
screw this guy.
Click on
watch
it.
it.
Watch what happens. Just look at. He destroys the car and then tries driving away.
No,
It's 3-wheel drive at this,
No.
or it's 1-wheel drive, but it's 3 wheels at that point.
that's terrible.
Idiot.
It's terrible.
Well, just don't like.
That
don't be
goes from a
doing
cool
that.
car from being a moron to a project car that is just thrown away $780,000 Porsche Gimbala.
Gimbal.
Gimbala.
Jim
Gimbala. Yo, it's me, Gimbala.
Porsche Gymkhana.
What a waste. What a waste. Yeah, and that's a cool car to a project car. Went from a really cool car to a shit project car, actually. Because you think about what it would take to try to bring that car. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to try
Oh
to
my
bring that
God.
thing back to life.
Yeah, no. It's all carbon fiber.
All carbon, super hard to get parts. And Larry, you've been over to Europe quite a bit too, and you've seen even the Bugatti to get service on the brakes and these higher end exotic sports car. How hard it is to actually service these things.
Oh my God. And not even that. I mean, the Ford GT here in the US, if they need to do anything to it, they basically have to take the entire back half of the car off, including all the way up to the A pillar, because it's one piece of carbon fiber.
Wow.
Whole back. Yeah. Just, I mean, that whole winglet area, it's the craziest thing just to service it. That means they have to replace all the rubber. That means they have to take everything out. It's like that car is not a car. It's a race car. It's not a street car. But yeah, the hypercars.
So, is that still considered a good project car if you have to send it out?
Well, let me show you one of my favorite project cars that I've shot over
Alright.
the years.
And while you pull that up, Larry, we have a poll going on right now. Basically, what is the best Hoonigan project car? So if you guys get your votes in, we'll have Jesse continue linking that, make a vote. Oh my God, Larry, I was just going to show this.
Right. So this is kind of one of my favorite project cars that I've shot. But so it's an all-wheel drive GTR.
Oh man, I'm so sad I never got to see this in person.
Well, listen, I don't think everyone knows, but this burned down to the ground too. Chris.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's
unfortunately burned to the ground.
Recently?
Yeah,
recently.
he had a garage fire, and this car was on jack stands, so he couldn't get it out.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, this was like my dream car. I saw it on autofocus. We actually should pull up that autofocus video, Larry.
And that's the thing is people, it's funny. I love showing this picture because people probably think it's so cheesy that there's a GTR badge on it, but it has a R32 GTR transmission. So it's all-wheel drive, but it has a R33 Atessa system with a center diff and everything. And it has this huge V8 with a blower on it. It's like one of the craziest project cars. And the thing is, this was built on a budget. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
In a garage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly,
go ahead.
this definitely could go down as one of the best project cars, because on top of it all, you meet the guy who built it, Skippy. He's amazing. He's such a nice, humble, awesome guy, and he also is Ken Block's like main crew chief,
he's the lead mechanic.
Yeah, lead mechanic. That's the word.
And if you guys in chat want to download these photos in high resolution, they're all free in 4K on my website, larrychenphoto.com. They're just kind of for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah.
So go ahead and download them as wallpapers. Use them for whatever you want. Post them up, whatever.
That car's so
but
sick.
it's just so sick. I remember watching it over the series. Look, this is the R33 at Tesla system. How cool is that? Like the power steering, or it uses power steering fluid. The pumps, everything works. But the crazy thing is, over the years, I've been going to the garage and kind of seeing him collect parts to build this thing. You know, so on the floor, there was a R32 GTR transmission with the center diff, all of that stuff. And I'm like, it's like, oh, now you're collecting these parts for this car, and for it to actually be working and everything, it's just super cool.
I'm glad you got to feature it before the incident. I really wanted to. I was hoping we would get to, at least get him to do some burnouts and stuff when I was done. We were just waiting for that right moment. No one ever expects anything catastrophic like that to happen. So
I mean, the details. Look at this. You want to talk about story? This is original badge from one of the mud flaps from the original car.
That's sick.
And the original car, legit, he said a river was running through it at one point. It was in someone's backyard in a wash. So legit, anytime it rained, it was a river that would run through this car.
My God.
He saved this car and made it greater than it would have ever been.
Hurt, I sent you the link to the autofocus too, Hurt, if you want to.
I got to talk to him a little bit before all this went down as well, and it was just trying to pick his brain on how he got through some of this stuff. Like, all right, as a builder, how did you think that this was going to work? And he's like, I was just trying stuff. You visibly look at something, see it on another car, and be like, this could work. That could fit in here. It's like, man, it's so wild to see. Just pick stuff out of other cars and like, I think that's going to work.
Well, there's two people that have driven the Hoonicorn, okay? It's Ken Block and Greg. Greg's driven the Hoonicorn quite a bit because at the time when they were trying to get the Hoonicorn version 2 to run at Pikes Peak at 14,000 feet, they were running into a oil issue. I think it was just too much crankcase pressure. I think that's what it is. But they had to keep doing high altitude testing, and Greg was the only one available, of course, as a lead mechanic, to do the actual testing. So he actually did all-wheel drive burnouts and pulls in it. So in his mind, look, I'm never going to be able to own the Hoonicorn or build one for myself. Let me just build something that's inspired by the Hoonicorn.
Unreal. Yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorite cars. I had my list of 5 favorite project cars, and this was the top 1 or 2, so I'm glad you're showing this one.
What's that mythical creature? It's like a bird chicken with talons.
But in terms of story, look at the patina. The patina is just the way it was when he found it in that river. You know?
Yeah, no, it's sick. One thing I always said is if you have a fabricator, builder type of person, you'll never have a cooler car than their personal cars.
Nope.
Like it's just the way it goes. Like someone who's actually taking the time to build something that they dream of, you'll never have a cooler car than them. This is so cool. This car is so cool.
So what is it? What made you take this photo, Larry?
I mean, the fact that this is just natural patina. It's been sitting in 120 degree Las Vegas weather, you know, and it's just worn through the layers of paint because this is not the original paint. It's worn through it and it's rusted through it, but the logo is still there. Like, how cool is that patina? You just you can never recreate that.
Yeah, no matter what auto body shop, what paint you can do, could never give that exact
But it's
texture.
funny because if you look at the the back bumper. Look at that huge piece of Bondo just missing. That just fell off. It just fell off as he was driving.
And he drove this car too, man.
Oh yeah, so
sitting there, he drove this thing.
Yes, he did. So here's him doing burnouts. Unfortunately, the supercharger seized while we were shooting this. So I think he was just pushing a little too hard. But you know, that's the thing is, it was a junkyard motor and it was a used supercharger. That's the whole thing about it being built on budget. I don't think he used any new parts on this thing. I think he sourced, you know, Toyota Celica dash, Corvette, brakes, just everything used and all scrap metal that he put on this car.
Yeah, this is probably started off with the best project car ever. Literally,
Yeah.
we literally just hit it.
Larry Chen dropped it like it's hot.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to really do a snapshot in time of this thing. Yeah, what's next? Show us some.
Well, I want to see the Hurt. If you can pull up that project cars, or not the project cars, the autofocus of this thing, so we can see it actually running. Because that's the other.
Got to drop his share screen.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And like Larry said, go to LarryChenPhoto.com, download some photos. I'm sure there's more than just the fire chicken on there. So
yeah, everything is for free. You guys use it for whatever you want. That's the point. Is, you know, I'm taking these pictures. I want people to use them.
So here it is, Larry. This was in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, this was at a private track.
Morning, guys.
Larry, you're the most animated person. Oh man.
It is 5:43 a.m. We are at Speed Vegas, and my buddy Greg, Chemblock's lead mechanic, was nice enough to bring out his personal project for us to shoot. This is the first time I've seen this since
so
it was
good.
basically a bare shell. So cool. Can't wait to shoot
Is
it.
it 4 o'clock in the morning?
This is seriously the perfect backdrop.
Yeah, it was early.
Vegas here.
I wanted to shoot it during sunrise.
Perfect pink.
That's the problem with you photographers, right?
Dude.
Better.
Making other people wake up early. Right? That's the point.
Listen to that thing.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much cooler it would have gotten. You know?
Just look at it.
You know, when I see a car like this, first thing I do is I say, would you look at this?
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, if it did kind of reach its final form and if it came to the burn yard, could you imagine that?
Oh my God.
Like the show it would put on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's not as refined as the Hoonigan.
no.
That's the point.
But do you know what? This thing, it didn't get the publicity that it deserved. Like, things are finally started coming out of the woodwork, and so I think this was still an underrated car because it didn't hit the mainstream like Rob's car, the all-wheel drive FD. It didn't hit like, this was just a low-key project that eventually was starting to trickle on the internet, and that's what also makes it cool. It wasn't built for clout, it was because he wanted to build it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he built it because he wanted to drive it.
Do you have some rolling shots in this thing? Whenever the thing's running?
Yeah,
In this
later
video?
on, I think. Yeah.
Just looking
Maybe
at
you could skip through it.
Oh, look, here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
This is a great BTS.
Yeah, that's the thing about Hoonigan autofocus. We really try our best to kind of show how we're getting this stuff too. There's a shot of it where it just scares all the birds away in the whole area.
Oh, right there.
Oh wow.
See, Larry's mouth is actually the throttle body. So
This is it. This is the one.
Oh, you didn't
it's
show-
like
you didn't show
what,
the burnout?
2 years, more than 2 years in the making.
It's been 2 years, yeah.
This-
2 years.
Thank
No,
you so
unfortunately, since he seized the supercharger belt, I just didn't really want to do that.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
much, my friend Greg.
Actually, we were planning on redoing that part. I was going to come back later. My house is actually just
The
3 hours
reason
away
why
from this point
we
where we're shooting. So
all
we
over
were
the
actually
world.
going to meet up later,
As
but
Greg
unfortunately we just got
is
busy.
Ken
Yeah. So another thing about
Whenever Ken
Greg,
is
so
filming,
that's Skippy,
whenever
Greg.
Ken is racing, or
That's not all
anything to
he's
do
got.
with
He's
Zam
got
build, but
this.
not
Look at
this
this.
one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this
Oh,
one
yeah.
was the
You-
first one that I
that you
featured
have
that kind of
to
broke
get
the
That's
internet.
so good.
Look at that
You built
thing.
another
So
one.
crispy.
Yeah,
So clean.
that one is so good.
Actually, legitimately went viral.
Yeah,
Twin
that-
T's, dude.
It's a cool thing, that one.
The cool thing to me is with
This is inspiring.
I
Dude,
shared,
this
I
is
shared
just
that
straight
before I
up.
knew who he was.
your other Transam build, the Fire
God.
Chicken, as you appropriately call it, you modernized it. You know, you gave it a modern look. You put some your own touches, flares, a lot of power.
Look at that, dude.
Your clean paint, everything.
He did
and you
all of that. That's the
made
crazy.
it
Look
your
at his
own.
garage too.
Yeah, look at his guy.
This is literally his history.
Yeah,
This is his history. He's
Yeah.
done some amazing stuff. And this is like because I mean, like the Ken Block phase is the back end of his history. There's so much stuff before that. Like his pedigree is just unreal.
Which, for some reason, I don't know why more people don't do that. And maybe that's why people really appreciated this car, because it's like a modern interpretation of what a Trans Am should look like if it came out new.
Maybe. I mean, I just like being stuck away in my garage,
Yeah.
shed, doing whatever I like. So
Right.
It's sort of fun.
Hopefully,
But
he
this
comes out with
is
something
not
nice
that at all.
Right.
It's
from the quarantine.
complete opposite of that,
yeah.
right? As you put it earlier, you already have a very clean car. Now you want something that you can beat on.
You get tired of looking after paint, you know, and the patina thing, that's
Yeah.
cool, but it's just nice not to have to care about the outside of it and just focus on the mechanical side of it.
Tell me the story about this car, because the last time I saw it, it was a bare shell. You kind of told me what your concept was.
look at
in
that.
build.
Can you believe it came out from that? Like that's what I mean. Like I came by and I saw these pieces laying
So,
around
tell me about
over
the car.
years.
Where did
You know.
find it?
Found it out in a field in Sandy Valley, just outside of Vegas. It's
Uh-huh.
been sitting there for 10 years or so, just full of dirt and stuff. And I think a river had been through it at one point. It was.
It's like, how do you
very
find this thing? How did he end up finding it?
It's one of those things you see on the road as you're driving through the country. You know, you're like, oh,
That's why
and
this
then you
happened.
drive
And it's
back
happened
again.
to be
Oh,
on
it's still there.
Craigslist.
You
With
drive
the
back
patina
again.
that's on it, you can't really.
So the good news is that he's actually rebuilding his personal garage right now, and it's going to be better than ever. And he's going to be able to do more of these kind of projects.
Let's do a little quick walk around
Go on then.
on it. It's just so crazy. Well, I mean, what was your concept with it? It was kind of like a Mad Max look, or like just with the super low
Unreal.
splitter.
Let's go ahead and pause that real quick, Hurt.
Look, no.
So this, like what you said, this is, if this doesn't inspire you to level up your project car,
Yeah,
dude,
that's some real shit right there. I really love that.
and that's kind of like the whole idea is this: there's so many low key cars out there that people are building in the garage that you may never hear of, you may never see, and then every now and then one or two will pop up, and it's just this mind blowing project that's been in the shop for 3, 4, 5 years that finally hit, you know. hit.
So it's one thing about the Twerkstein that bothers me, right? Because that car was never meant to be what it became. Like it was just supposed to be a missile car, you know. And so when I got it, I ripped everything out of it, put a cage in it, bare minimum, threw in a S chassis dash just because they fit and were a little more modern than the FC dash at the time. So I didn't like the original. I love the FC dash now, but at the time I didn't like it because my first RX-7s, I didn't know much. So I didn't have a steering wheel adapter or a hub. So my hands would always smash the wiper and the turn signals because they're right there on the dashboard. And so I hated the dash because of that. But now, you know, with extended steering wheels and stuff. But at the time I ripped that out and it was just a roll cage with a crappy dash, no gauges and race seats, right? And years go on and I'm looking at all these cars with beautiful interiors like that car. And it always made me regret ripping everything out of that car, you know?
Yeah, and once again, everything, the design and the change was built for another purpose. Obviously, you had to make a bunch of changes because, shit was in the way.
Yeah,
like
for sure. But
You're just getting
now,
older.
yeah, that no, honestly, that too. So now, like, I'm about to build another FC, and one of the most important, because the outside part is easy for me. I already have that dialed. Now I want to focus on the inside and make it I basically build the ultimate, you know, like make it as cool as possible.
Yep.
So his interior game is top notch. That was beautiful.
And one thing, guys, that we got to do real quick, and we want to make sure we get this in. We got to send some love to our dudes at Falcon Tire. Hertz talking about the Twerk Stallion. Dan, you just finished up doing some garage work yourself.
Yep.
And you mentioned about shredding some Falcons. Guys, shout out to Falcon for allowing us to be a part of the live stream and them being on board to continue to bring this to you guys 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Falcon Tire. Make sure you guys check them out on Instagram, !Falcon in chat. Make sure you guys show some love to these guys because, once again, they're helping us during this time we're on lockdown. And guess what? When we're free, guess what these boys are going to be doing? Burning off a couple sets. So thank you, Falcon Tire.
Hey, if you guys want to see cool project cars, go on Instagram right now and look up the hashtag Falcon Spotting. I think that's probably one of my favorite hashtags to check out to find weird and interesting cars.
Falcon Spotting? What's the story behind that?
Falcon Spotting is something that Falcon Tire actually created that I think is such a genius marketing, not ploy, but it's like a fun marketing thing that they came up with. Basically, if you see a car with Falcon tires, or if you're building a car with Falcon tires and you spot it, you know, in the wild, you post a picture of it and then you hashtag that, and then you can pretty much see all the coolest cars with Falcon tires.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Falcon. See, they're always coming up with cool, innovative ways to, keep within the community, man. Keep that stuff going. Project cars. Larry, do you have any other project cars? I scoured the internet a little bit. I'm going through Discord now, and there's quite a few. A project car for me also is, okay, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a builder. I can tinker and I can put things. I'm actually really good at taking shit apart. I'm really good at taking stuff apart.
Same.
Dude, you put a car in front of me, I'll take it apart quicker than anybody else. But as far as like designing and putting that together, I'm good. You'll need, somebody else. You need a soupy, basically. So what I look at for a project car is I look at how difficult it was to put it back together.
That's so funny.
That is what I look for in a project car, is the assembly. There you go. So this would be considered maybe.
Hey, at least it's water resistant.
So
what is that?
It's
What
called.
is that?
It's called the
shingles?
It's called the shingle cab, dude.
Shingle cab.
Shingle cab.
So this would be maybe a good or maybe not good project car. That's totally up to you guys. But it's shingle cab. It might be waterproof. You only change the shingles every 7 years.
I wonder how they put those all on there. Did the dude have a gun and just go?
Yeah.
That had to be the funniest thing to watch.
Yeah, shout out to the.
What if it makes 1,000 horsepower? What if it's actually never mind. The front tire is buried. the front tire is literally buried. So this is just a lawn ornament.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is somebody. It's like, man, I want to work on my car in the front yard, and he found housing shingles in his garage and no tools, and this is what you get.
Hey Corey, someone in chat asked, "How do I get my car? How do I get you to rate my car?" I guess he asked me specifically, but I think the answer to that is Discord, right?
Drop it in Discord. If you drop it in Car Roast, there's a section in Discord called Car Roast. If you want Hurt to judge your car and be 100% brutally honest, drop that in Car Roast, and we'll make sure that gets voted on today. Because once again, if you're going to take that thing into a car show, you have the best car show judges right here. You have Larry, Dan, and Hurt, and they're going to be brutally honest with you guys. So if you guys do want to get some roast in, you got the three of the best judges here.
Can I share another car?
Yeah. But before you share that, Larry, one other thing. I'm going to send this to you real quick because we had a poll going on the Hoonigan website, which was, what's your favorite Hoonigan project car? It's been up for about 15 minutes now. So I'm going to send you the results right now, and I'm taking a look at them. Let's take a look. You might like this. The votes are in. Boom. Ooh. Number 1 Hoonigan project car is the Twerk Stallion. Number 2 K-Truck. 3 now Sit car. Dan's S14's on top, which once again, guys, check that out on Home Wrenchers. It just dropped today. And mods, if you can get that link in chat, you guys can check that out after the show. Shark Car, Vin's S14, Boom Hour. Insert missing project car 5 years ago and forgotten about probably Scotto's, Napalm Nova, and then all the way down Land Yacht and Scotto. Twerk Stallion Hurt. Number one, baby.
I don't know, man.
So if you guys want to get your car rated by the number 1 Hoonigan project car owner, Just saying. It's proof. Proof is right there.
See, that just boils down to the story and the history. Torstein is a day one, almost a day one vehicle, so to speak.
Yep.
It's been such a huge part of the brand DNA. Even before we were making content on YouTube, if you followed us from the beginning on Instagram and Facebook, I mean, I was the social media guy, and we needed content, so I'm like, I was just gonna go do some burnouts, So
I remember in downtown LA, right?
At the donut shop. So Torstein is definitely put in its work. So for those of you who voted for it, I appreciate you.
All right, Larry, go on, share another car. What do you got?
All right, this is another project car that is one of those things where the guy was an FBI agent.
Ooh.
Right, and he was just building this car in his garage. Same thing, just for himself, not for anyone, not for any shows or anything like that. But it's basically like a Z06 and a 240Z put together. So the crazy mishmash of parts to kind of get this to work is what blows my mind. And I actually saw this at Holly Ellis Fest, and that was pretty much the first day it actually ran. Just look how wide that thing is. It's so crazy. So the funny story is, I see the car and I talk to the guy, I shoot the photos, whatever. He has 500 followers on Instagram, right? Overnight, the next day after I started posting stuff, 10,000 followers, this guy, after one day. But it's just fun. We actually did a bonus video on this.
That thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can find it.
Yeah, I just sent it to her too. So when you show some of these pictures, we'll go ahead and pull it up, because I'm watching the video right now. This thing running.
Yeah,
it has cool. The profile, like, this is gonna sound crazy, but the profile, the side shot almost looks like a Dodge Viper, which is how long it looks. So long, and aggressive looking.
Part of it for me is that he never did this for fame. He doesn't care. He did it for himself. And the fact that it came out this cool, it just blows my mind. He wasn't a big name builder. He just did all of this stuff himself just because he wanted to build this thing. And these are kind of my favorite project cars. Yeah, there are those big name builders that knock it out of the park every single time. For example, the Ring Brothers guys, the Speed Core guys, Singer, whatever. All of those huge builders that have like a 1 year, 2 year waiting list of clients. Yeah, they will make something awesome every single time. But the mom and pop ones, garage built, are what I really love.
And how many years did it take this guy to put this project together?
That's a good question. You have to watch the bonus video. I kind of forgot.
Weird. I'm in my. Oh, you sent it in a different.
Yeah,
ping.
yeah.
You gotta keep it consistent, buddy.
Did I send it to you? Sorry.
You sent it in a different ping.
Oh, I have to stop my share. Go ahead.
Yo, this thing is crazy. I think you guys hurt Brian's feelings by not putting the RWB on the.
Oh man.
On the list.
Don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. Yo, so look at this thing.
How cool does that look?
Just look at the profile of it.
And he drives it hard. Like, this is day one.
I hate not hearing LS's high in the RPM.
I know.
I absolutely hate it.
And as
hey, there's
always,
the hat. Larry, do you remember when I asked to wear your hat?
Oh, you mean I should wear it on the stream?
No, in Formula Drift,
absolutely
Florida. When I first met you, I said, Larry, can I wear your hat?
What's up, man?
I still have that
It
picture.
doesn't fit your head.
No, it doesn't. Not anymore. It's swelled up.
Pretty interesting here. What's your name?
I'm Tyler Powell.
Tyler Powell.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This car is absolutely amazing.
By the way, that's an FBI agent.
And I knew I had to feature this thing. So tell me, what's the story behind this thing?
So it started out as a 72, paid like $250 for it, rust bucket. And then I found a 74 for $500. Going to do kind of stay true to Nissan, Datsun. I was going to do some 370 parts. I decided to do all Corvette drivetrain because the Fairlady Z, I want to do a Fairlady Z06.
Oh,
and so I kind of
so good.
And Once
So
I
good.
kind of decided on the Fairlady Z06, then it just all
And Larry,
took
if there's
off.
any point where you want to pause, just shout it out, and we can highlight some stuff too if there's something that catches your eye.
Side rock.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those things where now the 240Z is so expensive,
That
and
same-
yeah, people are gonna be like sacrilege. You know, you got the LS in this thing, you ruined the car. No, the car was already ruined. The car was a $250 shallow. He
1972.
saved the car,
And a lot of purists already.
just like what Greg did
mad at me
with
just for swapping it.
Formula 400R.
Right.
Yeah, he saved
You know, for me,
that
it's my
car.
car. I'll do whatever I want with it, and I kind of wanted to modernize it. You just took
We
it
might
to
have
a
to do,
whole nother level. Like,
might have to do
so
a roast
amazing.
block.
So, just so cool.
Oh, did we
Let's
tell the
check out the
people
motor
that-
real quick?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Did we tell the people that we have a special guest later as well?
Ooh, we really didn't yet. We haven't leaked that yet.
Yeah.
It'd be a good point to start leaking that.
So later on today, I think around 2 p.m., our special guest, because Larry's a special guest. So our next special guest is going to be Luke Fink, and he's actually going to, he wanted to burn some tires for you guys, from what I'm
Yep.
hearing. I don't know if it's true or not. Is that true, Corey?
That
Corey, is, did I get word right? Is Luke Fink going to burn some tires for us today?
reporting in that Luke Fink owns a racetrack in Australia and says he might try to put a car on 2 wheels today, guys. I heard he might try to put a car on 2 wheels today for you guys. And by the way, I just want to let you know, I texted Larry at like 1 o'clock this morning.
Later than that.
I don't believe Larry. I don't believe Larry sleeps.
Larry
to be
doesn't
honest.
sleep. I texted Larry at like 1:30 or 2 saying, yo, you're the project car guy. You've probably seen more cars than we have, than anybody in the world. Come on, Larry's like, sounds good, like wide awake and all chirped up. I'm like, what are you doing at 2 o'clock in the morning still fired up? Dude, Larry.
Post them on my feed, man. I gotta wake up on the hour every hour to post on my feed.
You can't be as successful as Larry and not sleep.
Facts.
Well, I appreciate
Like,
it.
yeah, there's no sleeping when you're as successful as Larry. So the same goes for people like Brian Scotto. He doesn't sleep either.
Nope.
Yeah. So
And the way you can tell when somebody doesn't sleep, keep an eye on their Instagram feed. That's
Oh,
the guy who made this doesn't sleep either.
for a different reason. Right?
Yeah, for a completely different reason.
Look at that, guys. That's a good one there.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
amazing.
Camaro's coming in hot.
Dan, why don't you drop us one of your favorite builds? Let's see a Dan favorite.
One of my favorites. All right, I actually have a couple. Actually, let's just get on this right away here. 1 second. One of my favorites, also speaking of kind of on the same side as Luke Fink, we'll be looking at this here. It is Nigel.
Yeah.
Dang, you dropping some heat on us, man.
That's the heat right
Dude,
there.
Yeah,
I
you're
followed
dropping
this
some.
build. It inspired me. It really did. Like one of our older builds that I did, the Coyote, with my buddy Mike at Nocturnal Motorworks. We took a lot of inspiration from this guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at-
This
Learned how to do everything himself in his own garage.
the picture that blew my mind is the one where all the body parts, everything is spread out around it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a
Right
pocket
here.
carry. Yeah.
Honestly, we should try to get him on the stream one day because his garage is awesome.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
what
sure.
the heck? That shot is so awesome.
That's
Just
one of
a lot
the
of fun.
So much.
that's one of the coolest pre-project pictures or post-project pictures of all time.
It's
That's-
just so good.
Yeah.
And any video that he has, and he drives that thing too. It's just pull the whole body.
I met him in Australia at World Time Attack last year, and he's a super nice guy. And also, he just builds everything. I think he specializes also in motorcycles. So he had a Ducati in his pits. He didn't actually bring this car that year. He brought it last year, when did we go? Was that last year? The year before that. He didn't bring this car. He brought his Ducati. It was a red Ducati. I don't remember what type because I don't know motorcycles like that, but it was on T37s. You ever seen a motorcycle on TD37?
Yeah, dude.
Talk about a hot boy motorcycle.
Yo,
Yeah.
it's the hottest. It's so cool.
His
I
bike
love
builds
this.
are insane too. If you guys just go check him out, if you don't follow Engineer to Slide on Instagram, go do it. He's inspirational, man. Look, this is what I was just gonna show. Look, he's made every single part here. Look at that. Like You made
Dan, I'm so glad you chose this because this is so appropriate for you. Yeah, like this is what gets you off.
So that's the thing is, Dan,
I love it.
digging into that, Dan, you know, you being a builder, you look for much different things than obviously I would or Hurt would. So what are the things that you look for in a build like this? Obviously everything looks immaculate, but what are the details you look for?
So I mean, like he's come down to every single joint that he's made here. Everything is custom made. Everything is easy to get. Like every bolt is pretty much brand new and replaced if it's not. And you know, just making a jig off of the original suspension geometry and being able to replicate those parts, that's really cool to me. So if anything were to get damaged, I'm sure he could replace this part. He has a jig for that. Just like into the details of everything. You know how much time this stuff takes. But then you see some similarities where you have, you know, like 5-bolt axles out of an S chassis. Stuff like that, and you start to recognize.
That shot is so good.
Look at that exhaust.
Yeah, no, this thing is a dream. You know, while we were in Australia, we were actually going to try to go to his shop. I asked him, and he was all the way down for it, but unfortunately, some things came up, and we just couldn't do it. He's like 10 hours away from where we were and stuff. So
that exhaust.
Look at how nice.
My boy Dino putting it down with the photos.
Yeah.
Is everything in that, Michael Donnelly asks, is everything in that chrome moly or mild steel, Dan? What do you think?
I think it's chromoly.
So cool.
And I mean, that's going to take away a lot of weight.
I was wrong, though. It wasn't a Ducati. I just assumed it was because it was red. It was a BMW R9T.
So what's also cool to me is that he chose this body. Like, it could be anything. It could be a Countach. It could be whatever. But he chose to do a standard Toyota pickup truck.
But I mean, it could be anything he wants. He could throw any shell on it. You know, it's not limited to this even. It just happens to look really cool as that. But look at this. There's a lot of planning.
And it looks like it's all clear coated over the factory sheet metal or the factory metal, which is also another cool thing that stands out to me. It just looks so good. And it shows every detail in the welds, and it's never going to rust over. It's never going to go away. That's as raw as it gets.
Look at it. That's just
Air jacks.
Air jacks.
Oh, air jacks are so cool to me. I've been waiting to do that on one of my own personal projects. I don't know if I could bring myself to cutting S14 up, but I'm gonna do it to something.
Your wrestling name is gonna be Air Jack.
That's his finishing move.
The Air Jacker.
That's hacking, bro. That's hacking.
Man.
Look at this, man. It's so detailed. It's so cool, and it's very creative. It's very functional. This is what I look for.
Is there a video of this thing floating around? There has to be a video of this thing.
There's tons of video.
Yeah, we should see a video of this thing.
Look at this.
Ooh.
Dude. I mean, down to the detail of him rebuilding a lot of stuff on the motor himself as well. And it's so cool. Stainless steel intercooler piping.
Yo, and on that, and the one thing we've been looking at too is, once again, as I'm digging more into this build stuff, intercooler piping almost perfectly straight. Everything is buttoned up very nice. Like when I had,
better, right?
Dude, 100%. I'll tell you this: when I had my first single turbo LS build, I probably had 6 feet of intercooler piping, like snaking through the bumper up to the intercooler. And as soon as I was able to simplify that, going from like 5 feet down to 3 feet or 2 feet, dude, it changed my car night and day.
Scooted real nice, right?
Dude, it turned up. It's like set. And it's like, now I look for these mods that not only look clean, but they make a huge dramatic performance difference.
Well, it's not even just that. It's also, if you crash your car and you need to fix it real quick, that's an easier pipe to make.
Yep.
You know?
True.
So. You know, here's another thing that I really like, and it's moving forward, right? So this, I mean, could loosely be based off of an S chassis, but the reason you have all this tunability is because he's taken everything and modified it, including like the shock tower here, right? So this can be adjusted for camber and caster just by popping these 3 bolts out, slipping it, and then you can adjust it this way. That's sick to me. That's just a cool idea, just to add a little bit more tunability to the suspension itself, and that's just stuff that I like to look for.
I actually like the fact that it's not like crazy 1,000 horsepower. It's still pretty mild with a stock RB25 transmission, right?
It's speaking from experience, having a car like this that's all cut away. I mean, even with Shark Cart and the Coyote, which we built back in the day,
you don't need a lot of power.
300 horsepower, it feels It's faster than anything you're ever in.
Yeah.
So one thing I'll say is one of my favorite
Oh my God.
car setups I've ever driven was S14 SR T28 stock engine, cams, 18 pounds of boost. It made like 320 horsepower. And it's honestly it's one of the most well-rounded perfect setups because it feels super powerful, but it's super simple to do. But yeah.
Let's get a video of this thing running. And
give me the screen share.
And by the way, talk about SR. James Dean in the Mazworks, 9,000 RPM. He believes that the SR20 could come back in FD.
Well, now there's support for it. You know, it all boils down to support and who's mastered something to make it. Because like once it became 1,000 horsepower game, that changed a lot for people. You know, it's like you can't just run a basic SR or anything like that. Even a fully built one takes a lot of work. So now it's a different game. The VVL setup is nasty too.
Yep. And Stephen Clevenger, I see you in chat, man. I see you in chat. All right, here we go. This is engineering to slide. This is okay, this came out in 2018. I remember when this dropped. So good.
Air jacks, dude. Air jacks are sick.
Yeah, air jacks are kind of the business, man. God dang.
So sick.
That's so sick.
I want it so bad.
It'd be funny to just have a regular pedestrian car, but have air jacks on it.
Larry, you know they made me take those off the Viper.
Hit us with the fully screen. Hit us with that fully.
They made that illegal.
I was just trying to. Why is it illegal?
We tried to put it out. Dean had it in the 001 chassis, or the 002 chassis, sorry. And we were talking about it, and I was going over it with Kevin, and they're like, yeah, it's in the rule book. You can't use those. It's so sick.
Wait, but that could have helped Kristaps. Remember when he ran over his back stands?
Dude, that was so funny.
Yo, this thing rips.
Honestly, I hope to build something this cool someday.
Me too.
It doesn't look easy to drive either.
Probably really light.
Really light with a short wheelbase.
Man, it's moving though. It probably drifts so fast.
Where's this car based out of?
New Zealand.
Dude, those boys.
They get rowdy, man.
That's so cool.
Man, look at the look. It just looks.
Are you done sharing?
Actually, I want to show you. I want to show you one more thing.
Let me show you real quick. Just
it's the battle of the share screens.
that car inspired me. I just show you one of the things that we did from this. This is throwing it back a little bit. Hurt.
Oh yeah, this is way back. So
yeah,
dude,
Dan literally took inspiration from it.
This is an inspiration from Nigel, and my buddy Mike and I built this out of a shop in St. Louis.
This is Danger Dan pre-Hoonigan. This is back when it was me and Scotto went to this event and shot a whole drift bash, and this was back when I was doing all the editing and stuff. So.
Oh no, I want to play. Hold on, maybe I have too much going on here. What is going on? Harry, can you look that up? I think something went wrong with mine.
Dan, you just destroyed the internet?
I did. I think it destroyed my internet.
Let me see.
I think it was labeled Hoon Machines.
Did you? Oh, you want me to? I thought you sent me a link.
No, I couldn't. Something just shut down on my screen there.
Let me find it real quick.
Anyway, yeah, it was loosely based on a S13, and we built everything from the bottom up, man. We had 2 subframes and we did everything in between. SR20, it started out as a KA, but we put an SR20 in it, and man, it was the most fun thing to drive.
Let's see, you guys. I heard I also sent you 2 of my favorite builds once we get Dan's going.
That's my favorite build.
Dude, hey, you can. Hey,
I got a couple more too after this, but.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. So this is Danger Dan's maiden voyage.
The beard life hat.
Yeah, those were the days. Y'all don't know it. I've known Dan much longer than Hoonigan. I've known Dan for quite some time.
Dan, look at that e-brake drag, Dan.
That's my buddy Mike driving, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yep. I'd like to take credit, but I'm not going to because he was standing.
He's shredding. And this is at Gateway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fast course, you know. That's a fast course. But
that's how old it is. Available at Zoomies.
Yeah, dude. This was 2013. That was 2013. Oh my. For sure. And since I'm on the share, I just want to go ahead and finish showing you that T37 BMW that engineered the slide built. So this is what I was saying about his garage. So this is the car he was originally known for, I think. His hatch, which was just a beautiful red hatch on bronze TEs, super classic look. He always drove it great. And then this one took over. But it looks like he built this motorcycle with inspiration of Old Faithful. And he hitting us with some wheelies.
Dude.
But yeah, he I think he builds custom bikes by trade also. I see it on his Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
It's so depressing.
How much we suck.
Yeah, dude. It's so depressing, dude.
Yeah. But here we'll get it'll show up soon. So that's the wheel getting. Jeez. Look at this.
Oh my, dude. So no way.
Cut the wheel in half.
That's awesome. So
I don't even. I just don't even.
So they cut the wheel in half and rebarreled it to be a motorcycle.
A motorcycle wheel, yeah.
So
why
good.
do I even
so
try
good.
to? Dude, I have a hard time putting a Porsche Lego set together, let alone trying to build
dude, I just did that. I just put my Lego set together.
That's cheating. You're a builder, Dan.
It was like record time. I'm actually mad that I put it together so fast.
Dude,
that's so good. See, that's like a dream fleet. Where you
wow. Look at those two together.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's kind of interesting that one faces one way and one faces the other way too. You notice that?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, obviously because of brakes.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That.
He needs to just wrap the truck red for one photo.
Yeah.
And then put the T's on it.
See, I'm trying to have a matching fleet. I think there's something special when all your cars just match. I think it was it Koguchi or something?
Or is it Taniguchi?
Taniguchi, yeah, it was Taniguchi with all the red cars.
I think so. I think it was 13, 14. Oh no, it was it was Nobuhiro Taniguchi. Yeah. The 13, S14, S15. Yeah. The Super Street, right?
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that was something else.
All right, so Corey just sent me his pretend favorite.
Please.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice this other one.
So this is a bad project. I don't know if it's a bad project. I'll let chat decide. I submitted her too. I want Larry to break this one down for me.
What?
Oh yeah, bud.
So the thing that sold me on this time, if you give me a bunch of Bondo and styrofoam, this is what I'd build in my driveway.
I've never seen speakers on a bumper before. It's a speaker.
Listen, you guys laugh, but I could have sworn I've seen builds like this on the SEMA show floor back in 2006.
But see, at the same time, we are not capable of building this,
dude. It's
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Wait, what does it say? Night performance?
What it is it's like Bow Wow's car in Tokyo Drift, except it's the Fantastic Four dude.
Is this
Oh
a
my
is it a Golf?
No, do you know my favorite part about this car is though, Hurt? It's the color's actually based off the Twerk Stallion.
Oh, no, all I need.
You guys notice that on the front bumper, it's basically like jerking off that speaker.
Oh, Larry getting it. Larry getting it. Come on, you're shooting sound at your face, Larry. Come on.
Exactly.
Larry,
Come on.
Larry, you're unbelievable. You're unbelievable.
Dad, Larry's hanging out with the boys and just lets it rip.
We cannot take Larry anywhere. Okay. Those are clearly just Fantastic Four. I'm gonna smash you hands. Okay.
I'm smashing you with sound, Larry.
Yeah, what did he used to say? It's
smashing
clobbering.
something.
No, it's clobbering time. All right. He's just gonna clobber you. Okay.
That's what it is. The air jacks.
Larry, you're at it.
You know what? Here, let me get that screen real quick. I'll show you what.
All right, here.
I'll show you our rendition of what we would do instead.
All right, let's see what our build would be.
So if we were to try and build that, I think it would be something a little bit more like this. Yeah.
There it is. That's the start.
And you just start shaving that away.
Yep.
That's all you do. That's how you start the mold to that. It's not a real big deal.
Oh wow.
So we just shove some speakers in here.
Is that Movember?
I think we can do it, man. I think we can do it.
I like that website, thatwillbuffout.com.
These cars we just showed are a direct interpretation of Corey Hosford's Assetto Corsa skills.
Please. I would still wreck you in that car. I would wreck you in that car. And my knockoff Squirt Stallion. I'd go out there in my Squirt Stallion and lay it down on you.
Larry or Corey, don't
call me Larry.
Don't
You're
make
confused right now.
Don't make. Well, Larry's nasty. Larry's nasty, and you're being nasty right now. So I accidentally called you Larry. Oh man, let's get to some real.
I sent you two.
No, I'm not using your videos yet because the article that I pulled is first.
Well, thanks for looking out for your boy.
No. I pulled this before.
No.
Before we had this conversation, before you pinged me, okay?
Okay, I'll remember that.
You will remember
He's
it.
taking credit for my pick. I get it. You can
No,
have it. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
You've never even met him.
I've never met him.
Yeah, you've never even met him. So you can't take credit.
Okay. You probably do you have his phone number?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, okay. Hurt
we were
wins.
texting yesterday.
Hurt wins.
Yeah.
Hurt has his phone number.
He's actually going to be on the show next week, and he's going to do a crazy burnout for us.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And did you do that?
Yeah, I did.
Who are you guys talking about?
Just not in this car because he sold it.
This thing right here, Larry.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So this right here just oozes passion because it's a car. One, GS300s aren't the most popular drift car. Two, GS300s don't have rotary engines in them. Three, it's a luxury vehicle. So to turn it into this is magical, right? Hold on. I broke it.
This is a GS3, right?
Yes.
You better take a bunch of notes because I can't wait to see
Oh,
yours done.
Your boy's taking notes. Okay, your boy's taking all the notes.
I hope you've taken tons of notes because yours is going to be looking like the Squirt Stallion I built with the gladiator on the side of it.
Hold on. I gotta stop.
What?
I gotta stop sharing to go big.
What?
So you can
Here,
really
let me
see,
zoom you
so
up. Let me zoom up. Oh, don't look at me like that. Hey,
Say it again.
I'm playing.
Say
Come
it
on,
again,
please
Corey.
don't bully me.
I'm gonna treat you like Soldier Boy.
Don't
on
bully
live.
me. Tell him.
All right. So this is Carl Thompson's built GS300. He's now sold this car. Someone else owns it and still rips it, so it's still alive. But
How do you sell that though? Why? How?
I think he grew up. So he's in New Zealand, right? They're one of the kings. There's no one definitive king of rotaries. I will argue. Other people will argue otherwise, but he's from one of the lands of rotors. So I think he's just been around them for so long. And when it comes to competition, even though this car is sick, makes a ton of horsepower, and does what it needs to do, at the end of the day, someone with an S15 will come and smack you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just one of those situations where he wanted to be championship caliber, and having an easier car to replace parts and all that stuff, I think does it. And I'm just speaking on opinion. These aren't words from him.
Right.
I'm just guessing, because he's purely purely about competition right now. Dang. It's good to know how much I can roll my fenders. God dang.
You know what? It's actually pretty hard to roll fenders on a GS
without crinkling them up. Yeah.
They bake and fender real quick.
You better get Carl Thompson on the phone when you're rolling that thing with a baseball bat. Is that how you gonna roll your fenders?
Because that's a fat tire too, and that's like a wide ass wheel.
That's a big one.
Because they eat up 10.5s no problem. So.
Man, he destroyed the burn yard.
Yeah, I wish he still had this, man. I wish he still had this. That was
terrifying.
Wait, scroll up a bit. Scroll up a little bit.
Oh, that's a 1812.5. My wheels are too small.
Look, scroll down to the look at the interior. First thing
you just told me to scroll
up.
Right
there, scroll down one of them. You see that Motec? That's what I want to point out. This man's running Motec everything.
Oh crap!
This thing is just—it's so built proper.
Is there a difference between the GS 400 and 300 visually?
No, visually no. Yeah, just the motor. So yeah, Carl Thompson is all high caliber.
Yep.
He's top notch of the top notch, best transmission, best engine management, best gate, like best everything. He does not play around. He is all business, and he'll tell it to you while you're talking to him. But yeah, Corey picked this build, but I also picked this build because it's so unique amongst everything else, you know.
Dude, I remember when this car dropped, and I was like, "What the hell is this thing? I've never seen anything like it before in my life." But then you start, like you said, pointing out the interior. Yeah. Every piece in it is high dollar. And when building a project car, we've all made this mistake where you go buy like a low budget engine management, or you go buy a low budget part, and you burn through it 3 or 4 times, and it's like, you should do this the first time because you'll catch yourself saving money in the long run, not buying the same shitty part 12 times.
Dude, look at this thing.
It's nuts.
That is a 26B, 4 rotors with a big old turbo. He was making just a ridiculous amount of power. We'll show you a video of it too, because like pictures just don't do it justice.
No.
You know? It sounds so good. I'll agree with you. That's one of the coolest builds. I love that thing.
So this is a great example of us taking stuff apart but not putting it back together like this at all.
I just took my GS300 apart. I'll tell you one thing. It ain't gonna look like this. I'm honestly like, I go into the garage right now and I look at it and I'm like, what have I done? I'm so afraid of because like now I have, I was always going to put it back together, but now I have to put it back together really good.
It's you should have done that picture like the engineer to slide Hilux with all of your body parts off of your GS.
It'll just look like a pile of crap.
Look at the bulkhead for all the ANs. Everything is.
Oh my goodness!
I'm glad you're friends with him. I'm not, because I couldn't hang out with someone like that because I just feel so bad bringing my car around anywhere I go with them.
That's most of my friends.
So
have cool stuff.
This meets your criteria, and it exceeds your criteria by quite a bit. But your criteria was looks good, sounds good.
Yeah, he right off the bat.
He smashed both of those.
Yeah. And he'll never deny that, like, because he's now on a V8 platform, but he loves rotors to death, and he'll never deny that anything he has sounds better than this, I believe. But what is this, Dan? I went to Pack Performance and I meant to ask them because they have all this heat shielding on their cars. Mm-hmm. It's really nice looking.
It is nice.
If anyone in chat knows what it's called, because I'm trying to spice up my next builds with some of this solid heat shielding.
Expensive. It's called
expensive heat shielding. Look it up.
Google expensive stuff.
I see that a lot in rally cars.
Expensive hot stuff.
Ron knows. Ron's in chat. Ron, what is that stuff?
Yeah, that's all over the EVA.
Is that Inconel? Is that what it's called or something?
Inconel is like the material they use for exhaust and stuff.
So Pack Performance use that stuff, but it's all black. It looks really cool in there.
Dude, hit up those dudes at Thermotech. They have to have some.
Whew, man, this build is top notch. Hits all the feels, does all the things.
Slick Ricky Bob.
That's amazing.
Slick Ricky Bobby. Slicky Ricky, dude.
And the attention to detail on the OEM pinstripe turned into Slick Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that was an OEM.
They come with they come with the pinstripe like that.
Wow.
Carl's such a cool guy too.
Yeah, Carl's rad.
I feel left out since I'm not friends with them. You guys, what else is cool about him, guys? Please make me feel even worse.
Hey, Corey.
I'm friends with the wrong car.
Corey, when he's on stream next week, I'm gonna actually need you to stay off.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, I don't. Have him text me first and tell me not to show up.
About that. He doesn't text peasants. So yeah, sorry, you can't hang out with us.
That garage is so sick.
You can't sit at our lunch table. Yeah, I want to know more about this big rig that he's got back here. So yeah, all right, let's drop a video, huh? Should we drop a video?
Ever since that burnout from that big rig, I've been on like
honestly, you deserve to win that day.
Yeah,
watching that, I'm kind of addicted to it now. They have competitions in those things.
That was top notch.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I like how Dan green screened a banana in too. Big rig burnout, Dan. I get it.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Yeah, hit it. I gotta see this thing. This thing just gives me the chills.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
It's even named after you too, Hurt.
Bad boy. Corey, you could say whatever you want about me. You can say whatever you want about me. Don't call me fat.
Oh my God.
That was a good one.
Corey with the singers all day, every day.
Look at Mad Mike sneaking in there.
Yeah, I'm not getting his screen time.
When I first saw this car, I don't know why I thought it was Mad Mike's. Can you guys hear it okay, or is
no? We need a little more. Give us a little more R on that volume, a little more RPM. Oof. Okay.
Oh, he's on air jacks too.
Whoa!
Wait, dude,
Is that a thing?
That just must be a New Zealand staple, huh?
I want them.
Air jacks.
I will have them.
Hey, those are Mad Mike's wheels from the RX-8, I think. You remember his RX-8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Oh,
Dude.
Really?
just listen to it.
This.
Sequential shifting, just a bad daddy. I love this thing so much.
This shot, it's like one of these shots right here.
Where he really... I'm gonna sell my GS300 for sale.
No.
There's no... I can't do it. I can't do this.
I wonder how much this thing cost.
4 rotors are not cheap.
Oh, right. But everything on this thing is high dollar.
That motor setup alone is like $60,000. Just the motor. All right, and then you look at its fabrication. So it's got full cage and all kinds of madness. Imagine how much that costs, 20, 30, 40 grand. And then you take a Motec. Motec's one of the most expensive engine managements.
Dude, the engine harness alone on that Motec is probably 10 G's.
Yeah, I've heard people spending up to like almost $100,000 on just their Motec system. If you get all the sensors and all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
It's not a bad way to spend $100,000.
Yeah, no, thank you. But then again, I'm just not on this level. You know, I don't know that Listen to it. Is that too loud?
No, just the way it hits, dude.
So good.
I like Lincoln with that. It's just in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine being a kid growing up around this stuff?
Dude,
There's this great video right now of Mad Mike and his son tandeming on a set of Corsa. They have 2 simulators side by side.
Look at him.
Yeah. That kid's gonna be an absolute shredder.
Yep.
It's going to be disgusting out there. Hey, Carl Thompson can't be calling that fat boy. Look at
Dude, that's
right there. I love him.
Yeah. I don't think I could be friends with Carl Thompson.
Well, you know, the good thing about that is you're not.
Dude,
so.
the thing is he's a stud and he has a bunch of cool cars, which is to him, I'm gonna be the ugly friend. I'm the ugly friend when Carl Thompson's around. That's what I am, and I know I'm gonna be that. I get it.
All right, wait. Let me just show you one more. I'm sorry.
All right, sorry. No,
you got me stuck on this thing. You got me stuck on this thing.
That, you know, seeing builds like that really gives me.
Oh, okay.
That sounds real good.
Look at it. It went from fat boy.
Yeah. He named his car after you now.
I knew it was there. It was there.
That's easily a $150,000 car.
Probably more than that. Huh?
Yeah, seriously. I want a 4-Runner so bad.
Is that what we're gonna see soon?
I don't know about soon, but eventually. I want an NA1 to start though.
Dude, that thing rips.
I'm trying to get a good rip out of it.
Right here.
Oh, what? Was that it? Nice.
Oh, God, never mind.
This is all just from the stands. Huh?
Has the holders on there, they will have the advantage.
Well, anyway.
There it is.
That's one of mine and Corey's favorite builds.
And that fits the entire criteria. And going back to the Motec and talking about spending tons of money on engine management, a couple people have told me, and like I built a bunch of shitty engines for my cars, like really crappy ones, and they were telling me depending on the engine, you want to invest a percentage of what you spent on your engine into engine management. So if you have like a $50,000 engine build, you wouldn't want to spend X, because the better the engine management you have, the less likely of it going corrupt, breaking, over revving. So you want to take a percentage of what you spent on the engine and spend it on engine management, because obviously if you have a $100,000 engine, you don't want to throw a reprogrammable factory ECU into it.
Nah, that's why Dan and I run Haltech, man. We're the Haltech boys.
There, you know, that's the thing is people are saying at this point the amount of money you invest into your engine management is that's your insurance right there. That is, so you pay your insurance up front, knowing if you get a good ECU, your engine's going to last. If you put a shitty or a crappy engine management on, it's not going to last. So your insurance is in what you put into the car engine management wise. And so you guys run some good ECUs.
The wild thing about this too is like, I'm sorry, I'm back on Carl Thompson. Is his new chassis, his S15s, they easily could be top on this list. Like his S15s are insane.
100%. And I sent you one other link. So this is another good build for me. And Larry, you may enjoy this build, you may not, but I think you will. So I think having a cool project car or a top project car is something that inspires you. And this car that I linked Hurt is one that has inspired me for a very long time. And I ended up finding this article a few years ago once I started getting into drifting and building S chassis and things like this. And it is probably one of my favorite S chassis of all time. And I'm sure Larry's taken hundreds and hundreds or maybe even thousands of photos of this car.
I will show what you just sent me.
Thanks, Hurt.
I will show what you just sent me, but I just stumbled upon this end car.
Don't mind the sequential either. Jeez.
Oh, that's him pulling gears.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
E-brake, and then that little one right next to him was a little. Let's see if we get a click out of him.
This is a new owner, and I say new lightly. It's been a couple of years, I
think. I can't do this. Just knocking through the gears. I can't do this.
Oh my goodness.
Look at
I just
rowing.
I've never seen this video, so upshift.
Man, he's just on that rev limiter.
Sounds so good. Upshifting.
There it is.
Upshifting. Upshifting. It doesn't seem like the shifts matter. He just hits the limiter immediately. What a beautiful machine. What an absolutely stunning machine. So for those of you who want to watch this, it's on Jesse Greenslade Drift's channel. Can't believe this only has 13,000 views.
Dude.
This is wonderful.
Just rowing through the gears. Yep, just.
Yeah, Dan. Oh my gosh. I'm about to hop on a settle right now.
Save it for this weekend.
I'm gonna win your competition.
You're not gonna win.
All right, let me send whatever this link is. Let me see. Oh, okay. I respect this.
Okay.
I respect this. I respect this. I respect this.
So I ended up stumbling, Larry. I need you to play on this with me too.
Oh, I was gonna mention that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured this would be what you would choose. I'm like thousands of photos.
This is it. What I'm talking about. So I ended up finding this article, and it's a low-key. It's on GoDrift.net. I thought it was on Moto IQ for the longest time, but it's not. It's on some other just older drifting site. And this is from 2011 when Dai was either rebuilding or building the car.
There's a story behind this car, right?
Right.
This car is it's really historic and it's really important in Formula Drift history. The story is it was actually driven by Ross Petty, and it was a full Falcon livery car, and it had an SR, I think. But what happened was Dai had that IS 350, and he actually wrecked it at Formula Drift Seattle in 2009. I was actually there. But he wrecked it, and then they needed a chassis for him to drive the next event. So what they did was they actually pulled this out from the Falcon warehouse because Ross wasn't driving it anymore. And they built it within a few months just for Dai to get back into competition. What's interesting is that it was actually grandfathered in. There was a lot of things illegal about this car at the time. But I remember Kojima was telling me that they allowed the chassis to kind of run because it was a old Formula Drift car. And it actually went pretty deep into it.
Wow.
Many years. Because it won a championship in 2011, but there was just so many things about it that you couldn't do anymore because they changed the rules.
For sure.
And it was still grandfathered in this car. So it was like an exceptional car. And it just made traction, and it drifted in a different way versus any other drift car that I've seen. It barely made any smoke, but that means that it made so much traction.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he started the trend of the rake where the front was higher than the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it just dug so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very historic drift car. It's one of my favorite S chassis of all time. And this is one of the first cars that I've actually seen that they built in redundancy. So they built so it has two fuel pumps, and when one fails, they would switch over to the other.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like that was so groundbreaking back then. If you think about when it started drifting in 2009, that's so long ago in the drift world, you know? It just doesn't, it's kind of crazy to see. There's a little Easter egg. If you look at the livery, go up again. There's a little Easter egg right on the fender above the tire. That little design is Daijiro Yoshihara's. That's his hair.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was his staple back in the day, is his hair.
That's his crazy JDM hair. But yeah, this was a really, really historic car. And in its final form, when it had those like little winglets or a little arrow going back, man, it looked so good. It just
notice the radiator still in the front.
Yeah.
I know I agree with you with the winglets. That setup.
Just
was
look
flawless.
underneath it, dude. Look underneath. Everything is fresh and new and clean, and the angle kit and everything is just so well done. It's like a lot of these newer cars, especially this was the era of the Formula Drift car where it's like people are like, yo, we should really start taking this to a whole new level. And this was one of the first cars that was like a thoroughbred, and they won a championship in it. You know,
and this is a car that there was no tire to weight rule or anything like that. You know, so they could push it.
Who makes oval mufflers?
And it's
I need one of these.
And and real talk, this car sounded so good. It sounded so good at high RPM.
Spentec. All right, I'm gonna Google that. I need my Honda car needs a oval muffler.
I remember, Corey, around this era, you remember when it was the V8 hate era, when everyone hated the fact that it was all V8 cars.
Mm-hmm.
But this was really, really exceptional. It stood out from the crowd, and still to this day, my favorite Formula Drift event of all time was Irwindale 2011 when Dai actually won the championship.
Yep.
And it's because he got knocked out so early.
Yeah.
And it was like 6 or 7 people that could have got the championship that year.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, now this guy's in the lead. Now JTP's in the lead. Now I legit have a poor JTP. I have
here it is.
photo of him crying.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Not crying, but like very mad and very sad that he lost the championship, and it was in his hands.
Justin had an amazing year that year.
Yeah. I remember specifically he lined
Vaughn
up.
could have won it too.
Yeah, Vaughn, also D-Mac, Darren McNamara. He's like, you know what? Whoever's following me, I don't care who it is. I'm gonna take them into the wall. And if they are brave enough to follow me, they're going into the wall without.
And then he crashed.
Yeah.
How would you rate that ride height right there?
I mean, as far as competition standards goes, that's amazing.
It looks good. I'm telling you. And
this was the coolest car in Formula D for a hot minute.
The evolution of the squat right here.
I think this car was one of the lightest cars.
This car was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. My car needs to go lower because mine sits exactly like that.
I'm gonna keep my car high so I can run you guys over.
This was also one of the first Rocket Bunny kits
ever
in Formula Drift. I think the second one was Matt Powers S14 for Zenki.
Yeah, that's hot. That's a good choice. That's definitely a good choice. It's one of the cooler cars for sure. That was one of the best seasons, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. It was the start of the kits where you could see that it wasn't flared out. It was more sunken in. Yeah. A lot of drift cars were starting to do that. Because before that, it was all, extend out as much as possible.
I'm going to change it up a little bit.
Let's go.
One of my favorite builds from SEMA. And this thing here.
Whoa.
Brown Sugar.
Oh, dude, that was parked out front of Main Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this was, there we go. One of my favorite builds there. This thing was gorgeous. And just the attention to detail of it inside was amazing. I would live in this for sure. Like, look at that.
What does the inside look like?
We'll get there. It's like a really nice house.
Dang, those
look
mufflers,
at that.
Those mufflers are $120.
Shopping for his car right now. Working on his project car as we're talking about project cars.
Dude, this is insane.
Look at
whoa.
So, and everything else, he made it inside the car too. These guys were crazy. It had, speakers and kegs and all kinds of cool stuff. Look at the flooring and the benches and.
What's the motor look like?
Well, you were looking at car parts. I just passed it.
This is cool because this is built for partying, not for living in.
Look at this, dude. It's so cool.
I like the wall.
Yeah, the wall is really neat. And I mean, it's actually workable. Look, it looks like there's plenty of space in there. It's amazing. One of the coolest things I saw there.
Is the toilet just out in the open like that? Oh, look at the guest sitting next to the toilet. That's
Dude, it's sick, right? But no, I think there's a door to cover that as well.
It's poo-poo time.
Yeah. Oh, where's Larry bumper dumping in the side of the RV?
I've seen Larry poop before.
Oh no! I bet it's I bet it's violent.
What was the answer? What was the question that somebody asked? Like, what was the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Yeah.
And I jokingly said, it was her filming me while I was pooping. You know, it is my fault for announcing that I needed to go there.
Yeah, we're at Pikes Peak, so we were on a mountain. I think we were shooting Climb Kana.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, "Oh no, I gotta poop," and then he runs off. He runs off like a quarter mile down the way. It goes behind these giant rocks, and I was like, "It's my duty to go film Larry pooping."
My duty to duty. I'm glad you have such a heavy step.
Oh man.
You thought Sasquatch was running up on you?
Yeah, I heard you a while away, so I pulled up my pants.
I feel like Larry made me delete it, but I snuck up on you pretty. All right,
you did.
I snuck up on pretty. You heard me, but it wasn't. I got you on film. We just never got to review the footage. I've never seen Larry so furious. Or I didn't even know he was capable of this kind of fury, but he put me in a corner and he's like, "Delete it right now. You're not leaving until you delete it."
I see Larry grabbing you by the shirt and lifting you off the ground and
like
shaking.
he's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. I'm a baby.
Oh, so good.
Good times.
Man, the times that we have together, all four of us, for whatever reason, going whichever way, you know, it's a lot of fun.
Good times.
It's too much fun.
We all got to stay friends forever.
You can't get out of it now. You guys are locked in.
Because our kids need to hear these stories.
Oh yeah,
fact.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
I sent you another one, Hurt. We're gonna get Luke Fink on the phone here in the next 10 minutes, guys. So make sure if you guys want to watch some Burnout, stick around. So the other thing, like I said, taking stuff apart's easy, putting it back together, but also building cars that shouldn't be built.
I almost picked this car when we were having the Burnout battle.
Dude, shout out to all the Aussie, New Zealand dudes who build sketchy cars.
Oh my god!
I almost picked this car.
And Larry, this reminds me of you at LS Fest.
The Mini Cooper.
The Mini Cooper mailbox burnout car.
Yeah.
And so
that guy legit is the biggest guy. He's so big. He's taller than Scotto. He's huge, but he fits in it because he sits in the back seat.
And so it's the creativity to make this and to fit something that probably weighs as much as the car and driver in the engine bay is a feat in itself. So
I really like the license plate.
So I really thought this would have won the Burnout bracket that we had.
Yep.
But I was confident in Mike's rotary truck also. So I was like, I'll save this for the next one.
No, you were pumped on your Dodge wagon, dude. You thought the Dodge wagon was gonna pull through.
That was a mistake. Okay?
I made 3 mistakes. Only one made it to the top 3. But check this thing out. Something that is just. Look at this, dude. A little tiny Burnout go-kart with probably 1,000 horsepower.
Oh my god. I love the Burnout tracks are a thing. It's so cool.
Hand out the window, dude, just saluting to his people.
I wonder what happens if you blow your tires before you make it to the tip.
Just so pumped
Can we have this? Can we have Burnout drag race kind of areas like this? Oh my god.
We should.
Make that entrance to the burning.
Oh yeah, we could do that, huh? We could K-rail. Yeah, we could totally K-rail it and make it. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like we need to make the Burnyard entrance longer.
Yeah.
There you go, George.
But look at this thing.
It's so cool.
And he's not stopping. He doesn't stop. Just look at that. Project car.
Yeah, one of my favorite Build Bio episodes was the one you did of the Aussie Burnout car.
Illegal.
I love that they put so much engineering into something that's so dumb.
Yeah. So it's
You know,
like the back. I mean, for those of you that don't know, the back of these things, in the wheel well, they use like 1/4-inch thick steel.
yeah.
And that's what they create the wheel well of. So it's really thick steel, and on top of that, they put concrete over top of that. So
Right. And then the fact that they have to armor it because of how much wheel speed they have. It's just so crazy.
Yeah,
So,
if it's over, 200-mile-an-hour wheel speeds, when that stuff comes off, it comes off hard. So it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, go watch it. Phil Bio, Illegal. He did the gnarliest burnout inside the shop I've ever seen.
But I think he has probably one of the most famous burnouts in history because he lit the grass on fire, right?
That was cranky.
Oh, that's cranky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
Hold on, before we go on to this hurt, you know what time it is, baby. It's Falcon time.
Oh, yeah.
It's Falcon time.
Speaking of burning tires.
Guys, we have Luke
Here,
Fink
let me
jumping
cut
on the
this shit.
horn. We have Luke Fink jumping on the horn here in the next 10 minutes. He's at his racetrack. So, Falcon Tire. Hurt, what do you got to say? Hurt, can you drop some knowledge on Falcon Tire for us real quick, please?
Well, to put it simply, we wouldn't be giving you guys these Corn Stream live streams with the stream team and friends if it wasn't for Falcon Tire. So big shout out to Falcon Tire for supporting us and allowing us to give you this content. And another thing for you to understand is Falcon is for the culture. They love automotive, they love drifting, they love all kinds of racing, and they've always supported it for years and years and years.
They're the first sponsor. They're the only sponsor that's been there since the beginning at Formula Drift.
Yeah.
You know, since day one, 2004, they sponsored Formula Drift all throughout now, all till now.
And you can say the same for a smaller series like Final Bout too. They've been there from the beginning. They just love when people are doing cool things. They love supporting it in cars. So and it's not just drifting. I mean, they do all kinds of racing, off-road. They do it all. So big shout out to Falcon Tire for supporting us and supporting a motorsport that you love, because I'm sure they support every motorsport. So
This is how much I'm dating myself, but when I used to run their tires, I used to run the Zenith 215s, and I thought it was the hottest shit ever because I had those.
I never even heard of those.
That's before the 615s, before the all. Yeah.
Yep.
Did they look as cool as the 615s?
They looked cooler, actually.
Oh,
Dude.
They look. They here. Find a picture of it. They had pretty much the coolest tread.
Larry.
Are your fingers broken?
You find a picture of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Larry forgot about screen share.
I forgot.
Oh, you know what?
Your finger's broken.
My Wild Peaks just showed up yesterday, so I got a new set to throw on the FJ.
That's what I got on the Denali too.
Yo,
man.
that was.
It looks so good.
Honestly, I thought
You're my living room.
my Denali drove like complete crap, and I was ready to throw it in the trash after driving it that way for 2 years. And then I put Wild Peaks on it, and it feels like a whole new truck.
Dude, it's gonna look so much better. I can't wait.
Don't tell me these aren't the best looking tires. All right.
Those are cool.
That looks pretty cool. The 615 though is.
The 615's sick.
No, are you kidding me? Look at this.
That looks like other tires on the market now. The 615 is.
This was back in like 2002.
In 2002, listen to this. Hold on. In 2002, when people would ask you a list of mods, you'd say intake, exhaust, and Falcon tires, RT215s. And everybody's like, oh, damn. That's when tires became a mod.
In
When you start shouting out.
2002, I was a sophomore in high school.
Tires are a mod.
Nah, I don't know, man. That does look cool, but the 615K Plus
That
is
was
the
super
coolest
dope.
looking tire on the market. Like,
Super villain
and
shot.
that,
Leaks. Remember
but
that?
yeah, check out. This is another one of my favorite builds I squeeze in real quick.
All right.
Is like, it's a Miata, one of Dan's favorite cars of all time.
Of course.
But the fact that Mad Mike was able to squeeze a 4-rotor twin turbo engine in it is insane. It's 4 wastegates, 2 turbos, 4 rotors.
It's too much stuff.
So cool. He drove this so
Dude.
hard too. I was actually at Formula Drift Atlanta when he went 2 more times against Forrest, I think, and he couldn't continue because the clutch got so hot it fused together, so you couldn't release the clutch anymore.
Yeah,
together with the pressure plate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the year didn't go as planned because he ended up sending the car back, I think. And but just look at this thing, man. I also have a video that I shot of it at Formula Drift Atlanta.
You were there too.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. Oh, I had to see this car.
That thing is so cool. It really is.
I had to see this car.
I think this was kind of Mad Mike's first
Here, let me
attempt. Maybe that's not fair to say, but it's one where he actually kind of maybe pushed really hard to actually try to get results versus before it was just all about style.
He was just
he
having
actually
fun.
cares about.
Yeah, this was this was his. I'm gonna try to win a championship build.
Yeah. That thing.
I like that background, Dan. Big Red.
That's my favorite build. That's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, I'll drop this video and then it's all yours.
All right, we have 3 minutes before we need to wrap. Get Fink.
This is so nice. The car has accelerated so fast.
Listen to that thing. This is Atlanta. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, just showing off flex like that hurt? Whoa, just
I forgot that was there.
just showed off. No, that's when you're
Right.
that's when you're ripping a selfie and you just get a little lower, then you bring it up when a
I
surprise.
forgot that was there, man. I forgot that was there.
Showing off the meat pipes before you bring it to your face.
Hey, I don't got those anymore. Your boy's old. Your boy's old now.
So Dan, you Big Red, you mentioned Big Red once again. You went over 200 miles an hour in that thing.
Dude,
Let's share this and then we'll get Luke Fink on the horn. But I think we still have our top 2 favorite, and we'll announce our
You
top.
drove it?
No, I rode in it, and I was I might be the only person that's ever ridden in it.
Wait, where? What event? I was there at this event.
The Arkansas Mile.
Oh,
And
okay.
We went 215 in it with me in it, and he had a little bit of a slip issue, and then I hopped out and he did 246 and was still kind of spinning tires. That's the first time I've ever lost traction at 200 miles per hour.
Wow.
It is unreal. This is the craziest machine to me. Like I said, multiple uses. This has history like no other, Larry. You know that as well.
Yeah, I actually helped Sean with the lighting on this shoot.
Yeah.
And we were actually at the Mojave Mega Mile.
Look at that.
For this event.
But the things that were interesting to me, and you guys,
that's my photo.
Yeah.
Ooh, Larry.
You guys can look at build bio. We actually even did an extended build bio on this. There's one in bonus because it ran over too long. I was so interested in it with RJ, and we talked forever. But one of the reasons it's so cool is because it is multifunctional. Like he did Pikes Peak. He's done Mojave Mile. He does high speed run. He's done Bonneville Salt Flats. He's Silver Lake. All of those things this car is designed for, and it has different motors and different motor setups and different aspirations, and everything works with itself. So, like the fuel cell, for one, it could be used as a fuel cell when they're doing some big thing, or it could be used as cooling, and it's just as simple as swapping out a few lines. So
they almost lost it too, right? It caught fire.
Yeah, it burned in a fire. But I mean, it's just absolutely a wild build. One of the most fun things I've ever been a part of, being inside this car right here at going 200 mile an hour. If you guys want to look at that, there's a cool VHS that you should watch as well. And this is also a big hint into what's happening
Monday.
Knuckle Busters on Monday.
Oh my God.
Oh, buddy.
Knuckle Busters drops on Monday, and this is
buddy.
a little bit of what we're looking into right here. Actually, on more than one level, this is kind of what we're getting into.
Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah.
So Corey Hosford leaked the Knuckle Busters car.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Corey Hosford leaked the Knuckle Busters car.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
Oh,
I didn't.
Look at that nose.
So
nose is
this-
kind of like the FT1.
this Dan,
Is this V1 of Big Red?
It's
Dan-
like a F1 car, bro.
Oh my gosh.
that was a leak. So if we were to break it down, our top two best
Should we just
project
let
cars,
the people vote? Should we just let the people vote for it?
we can let them vote for it. We can let them vote
You
for
gotta-
it.
you gotta
we
have
got to make a
some-
poll.
You got to go see Big Red. I mean, that's just one thing you got to do if you.
But if I had to make a pick, let's make our personal picks, and we'll see if we can get a poll up later on in the show. It would be Greg's Trans Am or Big Red, 100%.
Let me give a little backup real quick, just for backup, okay? Gotta have a little bit of noise.
And do you know what? Before you play this, Dan, do you remember the other show when we had Leah Pruitt on the show?
Yeah.
And she asked, "Oh, have any of you guys gone 200 miles an hour before?" And Dan was like, "Yeah," and me and her were like, "No, I feel like the biggest sissy in the world."
Listen,
Well,
I
we're
don't have a
talking
need for
about
speed.
that. She's on a different level.
I don't have a need for speed like that. I'm good with like 140. I don't need any more than that.
Oh, dude. Speaking of that, I don't either. I don't really either. You can tell when I'm in the passenger seat, I'm holding on in the harness like this. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be scary. So
All right, let's check this now.
Look.
Full
At
optimization.
that
Let's
speed,
roll.
when something happens, you basically vaporize.
It looks so smooth inside, though.
It was.
That was a good episode too.
This was.
Can we talk about Zach's mustache?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Can we talk about how it looks so normal until he shaved it?
I
and now
miss it,
just
dude.
Doesn't look normal at all.
I miss it, dude. I miss it.
I don't. I think like sometimes you need someone as handsome as Zach to let you know you're not handsome. And like not mustache Zach does that to me. He inspires me to go be more handsome.
Dude, there's a picture floating around of Zach of like being a model. I've seen it, and Zach's like,
Oh, no.
like,
Oh, no.
yeah,
no.
I gotta find it, dude. I gotta find it.
Oh, no.
Model Zach, dude. I gotta find it. Looking like a
Zach
stud.
Zach is one of those guys, legit. If I was going to high school with Zach, he'd probably be beating me up.
Zach is the guy. Zach is the guy you gotta walk into the cafeteria and just pop him. You know, you gotta establish dominance. You gotta establish dominance in the neighborhood.
Larry, so
Right now, that's just brutal.
Larry, how you looking on time? Do you want to stick around, or you got a bell?
I gotta take off. I gotta do some editing, and I'm actually excited to hold on. Open up my. Let me grab it.
All right, guys. By the way, make sure you guys check out autofocus. Between autofocus and bonus channel, those are two of my low-key favorite
Don't overlook
Hoonigan
that.
channels. Autofocus and bonus, guys. Larry's been dropping some heavy stuff on there, and a lot of those.
My new camera.
Dang. Hey, let me hold one, Larry.
Yeah, let me see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to play with them and hope for better days so we can actually use them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Larry.
Thanks for dropping all the knowledge, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me on the stream.
Yeah,
like I said, it was cool. It was like a novelty to be on the first one with like 12 people on at the same time, but you couldn't even get a word in. But it was just kind of cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm sure there's
We'll
plenty
have you on
more.
plenty more times.
Oh yeah. We're stoked for it.
Let me know anytime you want me to be on. I'll be on.
All right,
If you got any topic ideas too, like if you think you got a good show topic in mind, let us know, man. We'll have you.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
I got an idea. We should do photo reviews with Larry, where users submit their own photos and we review them with Larry on the
like
show
that
if
a
they're
lot.
good or bad.
It's a shame Larry's got to leave because we still got to roast some people today.
Yeah, we'll do that when Luke gets on.
Yeah.
But we'll do a
But
photo
next-
review with Larry.
Next one, I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Where Larry will critique your photo and tell you if
Can I
you're...
critique your photos too?
Yeah. Dude, Larry, you want my shirt on or off? I'll leave that.
Larry, if you tried to critique my photos, all you're going to do is send all your clients my way, bud.
Ooh, Larry. Hold on,
You know what? I do have to say, there's something we call danger cam, right? When we're actually filming the big shoots like Recoil or Gymkhana, Hurt is always on set doing something called danger cam, where he almost dies pretty much during the actual filming because he just kind of gets in the danger zone, and it scares me every time I see you doing that.
I honestly don't know how that became my thing, but I just love getting those shots.
It started one that I'll never ever forget was when BJ within like 6 inches of you, and he was whipping it fast too. That was a fast drift.
Honestly, that was my closest. Like that could have gone so bad shot. Ever, but
we got to save it, guys. We got to get Fink on the horn. Have Fink call in. Fink is on the horn. You guys can talk all day long, and that's why Larry's going to come back and rate.
Okay. Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, Corey's mad other people are talking.
Yeah, please, guys. You're going to ruin the show.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Larry, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
See you, Larry.
How are you doing today, chat? You guys doing all right?
Chat is fired up, man.
Thanks for coming through every day. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's we got the same OGs. Once again, shout out to all our moderators holding it down in chat, doing the moderating, doing the exclamation points, all the commands. Luke Fink should be calling in right now. I think
we should probably do some roast with Luke too.
Yeah,
he's a savage.
So. Pull up a roast, Hurt. Let's get one in. Let's just get a taste of a roast.
Let me see what we got here.
Guys, let's get some hip spams in chat. Spam some hip hips, boys. If you're having a good time and you want this to continue, let's get some hip hips rolling right now.
So this is Discord, y'all. If you don't have Discord, if you want us to really be able to see what you're showing and talking about, you got to get Discord. Okay. Where should I start? Should I start with today since there's some? Oh, there's a bunch today, huh?
Yeah, get the ones that hit the day.
Oh my gosh, you guys are really throwing it down for us.
Man, there's so much.
Okay, when does today still today? All right, here we go. All right, French fry.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like before we start, Luke Fink's in the house. We might have to.
Oh, we're just getting fired up.
Yeah, we might have to come back to that in a little bit. What's up, my man? How you doing, Luke?
How you doing, bro?
Not too bad. Good to see you, man. How you guys holding up out there? Quarantine getting you guys you keeping safe or what?
Well, luckily I'm privileged enough to have my work here behind me, which is a racetrack, so I can travel to work.
That's good. That's good. Just keep them hands clean.
That's it.
What are you up to today? I heard you had something special planned for us.
Well, why not? I can't do burnouts and drifting as much as I'd love to, but I do have a Raptor. I do have like a shitty four-wheel drive, and I've got a drift cart here, so I'll definitely be able to get up to some shenanigans after. I got some of the boys here making sure everything works for me in the background. I can literally hear the guys like banging on shit to make sure. I got this. I don't even know what you guys call them, but this old crappy car that I want to jump just because it's interesting when it lands, and I want to try and two-wheel it. I haven't been successful before, but I want to give it a go.
Well, this is a good place to try it. So yeah. Before we get started on that, first off, I want to introduce you to the people. This is Luke Fink. He's an absolute savage behind the wheel of any car he gets in. He's an OG in the drift game. He's been doing this for a long time, and he's driven some of the craziest cars, like the low brain S13 and that V10 E chassis. Like you've driven some of the craziest things. So today's topic, we were talking about the best or worst project cars. Do you have a car in mind that would be your favorite or your best project car? And it doesn't have to be yours, just any car specifically.
Oh, I can't help. I love my A86s. I'm currently doing a beam swap into my 8.6, and that was like an SR turbo.
Yeah.
But you just can't get past those shots. They're just so fun, you know.
See,
and for me, number one is fun.
See, we had a debate the other day about where A86s should be on the top 5 list of drift cars. Where would you put that?
Oh yeah, always.
Where would you put it on the list?
I would say, as a fun car, it would probably be number 1. It's not necessarily like a competitive car, but as far as fun goes, you keep it NA or keep it low power, and you can shred like a maniac. And as much as I enjoy I got a Z for thrashing that I drive constantly, you don't have to look like a dweeb in a Z.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
I think we all agreed with that, actually, because the Z went way lower on the...
I was just not even trying to put the Z on the list just because...
Yeah, none of us brought it up.
Well, like, we all know it works, but it's just a slightly different S chassis at the end of the day, you know, in my opinion, anyway.
I agree with that. I've chucked like GK Tech stuff at mine, and it literally feels like an S chassis now. Like I've got mine feeling like an S13.
All right, so I want to show the people. I'm trying to find the video you driving that low brain car, because we gotta show the people what you're about, you know.
Yeah.
But
and Luke, if you swipe right on your screen, you'll be able to see the whole crew here who's hanging out today.
Oh yeah, do that.
What's right here? Oh yeah.
So Hert's gonna be pulling up a video. And Luke, you've been drifting all over the world for the longest time. Obviously, you had the crazy BMW over in the UAE.
Yeah. So the interesting thing for me is I've been in a fortunate enough position. I wouldn't say fortunate. I've been lucky to never have to drive my own cars in competition. I was literally a street drifter that got picked up by a team in Australia, and just since then I've always somehow got my ass into a car that's not mine and got to like drive really cool things and do cool things.
And Hurt, you pulling up a video right now?
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, let's go.
So Luke sent me this video a long time ago to share on Hoonigan. And luckily someone pirated that from us and put it on their YouTube. So
oh, that helmet's so good.
The helmet thing was like my way of separating myself, because I was always driving different cars, you know.
I almost bought one of those helmets just because they look really cool. I like the bubble shields.
Yeah, there's so many people that are like, "Oh, what's the advantage of running a red shield?" I'm like, it just looks freaking cool.
And that's hauling ass right there too.
Yeah, jamming. You're straight jamming.
Oh, dude. So we put colored tires on. You know, usually colored tires are like not that grippy. And the company we were driving for that year, man, the colored tires were not any slippier than the normal tires.
Yeah, what's it like driving Goodwin? Your adrenaline had to be through the roof.
Well, this is my second lap up the hill with no siding.
Yeah, but when you come from where you come from, attacking something like this is normal, huh? You drive with your eyes.
Yeah, essentially being a street guy, I think definitely helps. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate to be like only a track only guy, because that place would scare the crap out of you. Because it's super tight. Like, I came off that run with like hay bales like connected to the front end rear.
Yeah, he's right on the edge the whole time.
What chassis and engine is this?
It's an S13 Sylvia with a LS1, and then it's got like some individual throttles they somehow got off like a Mosler race car.
Wow.
Cool car, Luke.
That car sounded amazing. It sounded intense, like it sounded like it revved to the moon and stuff, but it only, I think it was about 400, 450 wheel, something like that. So it wasn't like crazy power-wise, but I think that's what helped the car sound as good as it did, because you had to be ragged edge the whole time. There was no like V8 sort of what. You had to be like literally drive it like a rotary.
All right, now from that car, he also hopped into this is a V10 E46.
Yeah. That was my very first lap right there.
Yeah, this thing is absolutely insane. But that's another thing where it wasn't huge power, right? You had to be at the...
No, so a lot of people think that those noises that you could hear, which were actually clutch kicks, they thought I was pulling gears, and I was like, yeah, no. I was definitely not pulling gears.
That thing looks like so much fun to drive.
It was, dude. SLR lock kits are like the bomb. I literally had Chelsea Denofa do the suspension for this car, and I obviously loved the SLR, having driven the SLR before, and I was like, if I can get Chelsea to do the suspension and I can get SLR steering in this car, like no matter what engine's in, I'm going to get this thing to work.
So this is another situation where Florida man comes to the rescue.
Nuts.
Listen to that thing.
Dude, this thing crushed the internet. I remember the first lap, the video dropped on Instagram and just blew everybody apart.
Well, this is literally the first few minutes of me driving the car. Like,
yeah, this is your shakedown, right?
Yeah, this was at like 12:30 a.m. It's just after midnight. The boys finished working on the car, backed it off, and then we like jumped in and just sent it.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
You guys are all mad. He's a madman, says bleed the sheep. He's a madman.
Yeah, Luke is a madman. I've been a fan of Luke Fink for such a long time, so it's cool to I've been getting to actually hang out with him recently and do some stuff with him. He's an absolute legend behind the wheel.
So what do you got there, Luke? Show us around a little bit if you can.
I can show you around. I got one of these, which you guys don't know a whole lot about, but it's a diesel Raptor, which is interesting.
What?
It's a Ranger, but we do a Raptor one, which is cool.
We saw one in Poland. Right?
So it's got like,
yeah, but it wasn't a Raptor, was it?
It was
it is a Raptor. So this is like, it's got all the Fox suspension, it's got coil rear and all that sort of stuff. So like it jumps, it jams, like
but it's way shorter. That's cool.
Well, yeah. So you've got the Rangers right now.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's literally a Ranger Raptor. So it's the wide body, crazy suspension, and then it just doesn't have the V8 or even a turbo 6. It's literally a twin turbo 2-liter diesel with a 10-speed out of a Mustang.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun. Then I got this little project I've been working on for my kids, which has just been one of these silly little projects while we've been on lockdown, which I'm going to have a burn on soon with you guys. I've got the guys, friends here just working on it.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
So,
What type of contraption is that?
it was a drift trike at the back, and it used to be an electric go-kart at the front. But my daughter was here at my track, and she had like a big flip when it was electric, and basically destroyed all the batteries, broke a bunch of electricals in it. Like, she's a Fink, you know what I mean? She got down and flipped. And, so we ended up cutting the rear off of a drift trike and very, very sketchily welding it to the front of an electric car. And for some reason it works, and it's going to be, my daughter should be coming down today. Obviously not while we're on the stream here, but my daughter is 5 and my son is 2, and they're going to rip around in this. And we can still rip around it. We just have to use their hand for the throttle because it's obviously a very short. It's meant for little legs. What else have I got here? My wife's S13. I don't know if you've seen any of the vlogs there. My wife sort of is a fair ripper.
Yeah,
literally,
she gets down.
Literally pop tires on the back of that. But yeah, I don't have a lot of like cars down here as such. I got fun shit. I got like stuff that I wreck and destroy, basically, as you do when you have a track at your disposal.
Yeah, no, that's a dream to basically have a backyard track. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's
So Luke, I got to stop you for 1 second. Corey actually sent me something relevant to what we were talking to right before you got on, and I have to let the people see it.
This was a message from King Crow. Dude,
why you gotta do our boys act like this?
We shouldn't be showing this on stream because none of us are gonna have girlfriends by the time the show's over. I feel bad for all of us watching this right now.
Zach's gonna come in and let us have it. Oh man. But so you don't have your A86 there or anything? Is that another?
I don't have that here. I can show you. Actually, I can show you something interesting soon. I'll be able to show you. I got my Turbo LS S13.
Oof.
Which is interesting. And then I built a car. Adam commissioned me sort of to build him a car over here. So I've got like the Adam LZ replica car here.
Oh yeah, I saw those videos too.
Yeah. I really should have done a burnout in his car for his own competition.
Yeah. That thing rips, man. It looked like he had a lot of fun driving that thing.
Oh, it works better than the one he's got there.
I might have to hit you up for some of them settings for my S13 since you're a wizard.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I did catch a little bit of you guys talking earlier about aftermarket ECUs and all that, and it's like with an SR, if you're not going to go over 400 plus, stock ECUs with a remap are the best.
Yeah, simple and sweet. There's no arguing that.
Yeah, like SRs with aftermarket ECUs are the ones that are always throwing rocker arms and like killing them. Where you stick with like a standard ECU, for some reason, there's I've never thrown rockers or anything with a NIS tuned, for instance, SR, where my SR that was in my 86 was like 500 wheel, link ECU, and that's why I don't have an SR in it anymore.
Well, I think you lost the SR at 500 wheel. Oh man, I'm just talking shit.
Yeah,
but I do agree. We're talking about them being appropriate for appropriate situations.
Yep.
So like a fun and easy ripper. I'm all about ROM tunes. Same with the Chevy motors. LSs, you use the stock ECU all day. You can make a ton of power with them. It all depends on what you're building.
I want to see my boys can unlock the thing where my car is. Unlock that container. Yeah. I got everything locked away. I think the part of the issue with this pandemic is like crime. Crime's like a big issue now. So
that's unfortunate.
Sucks, man.
People are bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not.
So I did mention that. Yeah. Sorry?
So you're not bored because you have a racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not bored. Like, I have a racetrack and I do my own YouTube channel as well. And it's like, I'm keeping myself really, really busy, but there's obviously a lot of people that aren't. Like, I got involved in a bit of an incident the other day where I had to chase a guy down until he rolled his car and then ran off into the bushes because he hit and run my wife's car. So that was like interesting, but I think it's just a unfortunate sign of sort of what's going on in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks, man.
Well, I'm glad you got him. So
they got away on foot, but it was still a good feeling to see the car that I was chasing like on its side.
Oh man, the struggle.
Well, that's why we're here to bring some smiles. Bring some smiles to people. That's why.
Well,
go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say, Hurt. While Luke is ready to open up some of the gates and bring some of the toys out, should we do a quick roast?
Oh yeah. All right, Luke, you want to help us roast some cars?
Oh yeah, I'm down.
So yeah, I know you'd be down.
Because Claude G says, please roast my E30. I just uploaded it. People are hungry for the roast.
Let's go ahead and get through some roasts then. All right, so this is the first one. His name is French Fry. Looks like a newer Chevy.
Share the screen.
Oh shit, my bad.
God, we were like, what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about my truck.
All right, so here we go. Honestly, there's not much to roast here.
I don't know. What?
Yeah, there's not much.
Stock truck.
Yeah, it's a stock truck.
Do you know what you could roast is probably the payment on the truck.
Wait a sec. What do we got here? This is great. I got my own like coffee delivery guy, and the dude rolls in a 31.
Hey, here, let's big screen that. Let's big screen that.
Hold on. This guy.
I thought he was gonna rip one. Yeah,
Make him do a burnout.
Is that thing? It sounded kind of NA. He can't spin him.
Oh,
he can't do it.
He can't spin him because I don't want to lose my lease to my racetrack.
All right.
How's this a delivery? Coffee in an R31 Skyline.
Oof.
That's sick.
A saloon, no less.
These things are sick. Yes, it is one.
Cheers.
Coffee. It's early, you guys. Remember, it's like literally 7:30 a.m. here.
Oh, you have a sound ordinance or what?
Yeah. Actually, I'll get you to hold that coffee because I don't want to spill it when I'm jumping my Raptor.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on another roast real quick. This user, well, his first roast is you don't know how to post a picture. Like,
yeah, what? I'm turning sideways.
I don't even know what it is. What is that? The Blazer or something? What is that?
Is it a Suburban?
It's a Tahoe. It's a Tahoe. It's a two-door.
It's too hard to look at your car.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Subaru. What's up, all these stock cars, boys?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta have something like a Honda.
Scroll
We're
down.
gonna pick one.
You got a Mustang with mud on it right there. Is that mud on it or is that a reflection?
That's
mud.
That's people.
That is leftovers from the car show.
Oh, that's blood for sure.
Wow. What is that?
This is what happens when you have big inspirations to build a project car, but all you know to do is take it apart.
That's what Hertz GS looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like right now.
Is there a finish shot for that, or that was it?
I think that was it. This thing is cool. Wow.
Red box, 10
Yeah.
on the license plate.
You guys gotta. Hey, we can't roast you if you come visit us.
Yeah, especially in an
You know where we
Miata.
work.
You know I love Indy Miatas.
Yeah, that thing's actually pretty
It's one
clean.
of my favorite cars. It's hard time.
Not roast.
Hey, man, y'all better
God,
stop
you
putting
guys.
cool cars in here. All right, yeah,
That's tight.
yeah. You're just trying to get flex points. Honestly, that looks like a car that'll break a record at the Nürburgring. So you can't even be mad at it. Is that a cappuccino?
We'll say
Yeah.
Someone can just roast me and you, Hurt, because we wouldn't fit in one of those.
Yeah, definitely. There's no way. Take the top off and I'll sit behind the seat and I should be able to drive it then.
Yeah, that's just the first car you get in Gran Turismo. That's it.
People are just flexing on us. They're not even.
Yeah.
Oh, K swap Miata?
Dude, come on.
Is that a K swap Miata?
How much you want for that?
Yeah, stop disrespecting us with cool cars. We asked for roast, okay, you jerks. Man, even a stock Cressy wagon is cool. Y'all gotta stop this.
That's an R30 Skyline, right? Wasn't it?
No, that's a Cressida.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see it that well.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Or wait, as you guys would say, a Cressida.
I think you guys
Yeah.
should stop submitting such cool cars and learn how to take pictures. We need Larry Chen
Yeah.
back on the horn.
Yeah. Your username is disrespectful. That is unbelievable. You people are unbelievable. Man, look at this. A 1J
E36.
E36. You want us to roast that? Y'all are tripping. Man, this is shameful. You guys should all be ashamed of
That's
yourselves.
not your car.
Yeah,
That's
you
not your
should.
car. You're posting other people's cars. That's what it is.
You should all be ashamed of yourselves for posting these clean cars in the roast section.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Looks rusty and promising.
280Z he just bought as a project.
There's something about most 280Z owners. It'll
Yeah.
probably look like that for another 7 years.
Well, doesn't
Yeah,
280Zs cost more the more rust they have?
GC8 looking pretty good. Man, y'all suck.
Oh, there we go.
Come on.
Our boy.
That
America.
is, yeah.
You know
Oh,
what?
man.
Next time you come back to the barnyard, give more than 15 seconds. That's
Yeah,
all I
right.
gotta say about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He has issues with the supercharger or something.
Yeah,
right?
it looks so sick. It looks so
Yeah,
promising that it blows up.
It just always. Oh, I think it's because it's like
Chucking belts?
it's carbureted, isn't it?
I don't know.
So
Yeah,
I think.
a lot of burnout cars are carbureted though, so that's
Ah.
not your issue.
Well, we don't have the recipe like.
yeah,
you
we don't have the
guys.
sauce you boys have.
Yeah.
I think methanol's the source for a burnout car.
Ah. Yo, Seafoam livery.
Somehow fading away.
Only thing I'm gonna roast on this one is your team name, Team Twisted Piston.
Hoonigan license plate frame.
Nobody likes those tail lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Nobody likes
taillights.
Twisted.
I think are the issue with that one. Is this his engine setup though?
A supercharger.
Dang,
Is that a
Bro,
Maggie?
that's trippy or what?
that looks like a Mustang.
Dude, you
blower
guys are
or
just
something.
flexing. Chad is just flexing.
yeah,
we
for
get
real,
it.
yeah.
We get it, flex.
Yeah, we get it. You build
Chad flex a lot.
I mean, the only thing you could roast here is that you decided to own a Mark III Super.
Yeah, and Fast and Furious wants their car color tonight.
Oh man,
That
this is a video game. Is this a video game,
got him.
man? I was honestly expecting more. Luke, let us know when you're ready to get silly, and we'll just stop these roasts.
I got me an S13 right here.
Oh boy.
You gonna
I
jump
had
it?
to move some stuff around.
Damn, look at,
Unfortunately, my S13 isn't running at the moment because I'm sort of doing like a refresh on it. But
Here,
you
we'll
can
get
still get the idea.
here.
Let me spin this around.
I'm giving this. Yeah, there you go.
We
For
need
starters,
Let's just roast Luke Fink.
Well, how are you gonna roast the quips, dude?
Yeah, I'm not gonna roast the wheels. Everything. I'm gonna roast what they're attached to. No, it's just in pieces. That's all. I know it's gonna shape up. Yeah.
So I used to have the radiator like in here, and I was having like basically heat soak issues where my radiator was for some reason making like my entire car hot. Like my roll cage would be hot to touch.
Wow.
And yeah. And fire safety's become more of a thing for me. So I've done some extra like fire safety stuff and basically just making the car better because I take this thing to summer nights and do like big burnouts and stuff with it. So it's like I want to make sure it's good.
No, it's good. I'm glad. Safety just becomes a thing as we continue to age because like it's all fun and games until a fire breaks out. So you definitely got to take safety into a huge account. But nice little Turbski on there.
Yeah, I got big hands. Yeah, that's my setup. So it's good. It's literally a stock 6-liter with headwork, studs, and a few other bits and pieces, and then the big spoolie boy on there, and makes, but in American horsepower, it'd literally be like 750 wheel.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
Can't go wrong with the V8 turbo if you're looking for big numbers. That's just the way she goes.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's it. This is literally my big dick car. This is like, if I want to drop fourth gear on the spot, this is the car that gets pulled out.
I'm excited to see the final result of this because this is the same car you took to what was it, WTAC, and you did that rolling. Oh yeah, but it wasn't looking like it looks like you're about to make it look. It looks like you got legit body panels, legit wheels now. So you're gonna go all style boy on it or what?
Yeah, I'm going hot boy. So the reason I'm going for the rebuild on this car is it had been rushed. Honestly, it had been rushed every other time. Getting ready for like events. The first time I got it ready, it was for Connor Shanahan's Come and Drive at World Time Attack, and the people that built the car like really didn't do a great job. I got it back from that, sort of done half a rebuild on it, did summer nats, and then I was like, I did a few events here, and I was just like, no, that's it. You know, I was too far. I was just chasing stuff constantly, and it was like, no, I need to just pull this thing down and redo it. So I'm basically, it's getting to the point now where it's about to be just torn down, sandblasted, full chassis paint, the lot. So it's going to be like a show car, burnout car, drift car, whatever I want it to do, really.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll be nice. I'm excited to see it come through.
Yeah, I'd really like to bring this thing to the next drift week.
You gonna import a car next time?
Geez, the airport? I'm not James Dean, bro. Come on. This would be on a slow-ass rickety ship, and it would eventually get there.
Yeah. And then behind you, I see you got the Adam LZ replica car.
Yeah. So I guess the main difference is the fact that this is like a bolt-in roll cage and fairly basic, a slightly more basic SR setup, but this is like very much a ripper car. It absolutely works super well. Like it just works.
Yeah, I think we're losing your signal inside that container. So let's just move past that.
Yeah, I'm back out now. Yeah,
Nice.
I was down deep in the container.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do you got for us? We got 20 minutes. We
Yeah.
got 20 minutes left.
This is a kicker, and that is my new bank at my track that I've only been able to use twice for customers because this COVID thing shut us down. So let's do a jump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give her a
A
send.
little bit of action. Chat, let's get some hip hips for Luke Fink. He's going to send something. I don't know. Luke, what are you going to be jumping?
My Raptor.
Oh, diesel-powered Raptor.
It looks like a new vehicle.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah. It's brand new.
Oh,
It's done
boy.
15,000 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles.
We can always count on you, Luke.
Yeah, 15,000 kilometers, still brand new to us.
She didn't hurt.
Oh, wait, hold up. Oh!
Whoa. Oh, man.
Just out of the box like that.
Dude, that happened so fast.
Out of the box.
Dude, he's flying.
How did he get through that so fast?
That's
That
fast.
was a good one. That was big. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. Yeah, right.
Oh,
I
yes.
I feel like he said, "Hold on." The next thing you know, he was jumping. Can you lock the screen on Luke for the
yes,
live stream?
it's locked. It's locked. It's locked and loaded.
So good.
That's 9,300 miles, by the way, on that
This
Raptor.
is fully
That's a
warranted by Ford to be jumping.
Should you stand there?
Let's see. All right, here we go.
I feel like you guys should move.
Don't try to catch him, Luke. Oh, look, he's winding up. He's far deep in the back now.
Oh yeah, this is the end of that truck.
Luke is a bad man.
Dude, I haven't had a chance to hang out with Luke very much or at all. I know you guys haven't. He's just drift week, but I could see being very sketchy all the time.
I'm not happy with that. It wasn't a big enough jump, was it?
We'll watch you
Further
back.
than we could jump right now.
It all depends on you know how you feel about yourself. So if you feel like that was good enough for yourself, then that's fine.
I feel upset you're not scumbagging me.
That was my way of scumbagging you. I was saying if your jump was little.
You know, if you feel comfortable with it, sure.
A diesel Ford Raptor, 9,300 miles. Let's see if we can get a deep dig out of the hole here.
First one was fast.
Dude, yeah,
the
first one.
But what I was going to say to you, Corey, is
Here we go.
Luke.
Oh!
Yo!
Oh man,
That was a
You're an absolute maniac.
that sounded horrible.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was good.
Yes. It
Yeah,
made all the right noises on landing.
Do you immediately regret that decision?
No, so I just realized I've got something in the back of it. So the car itself didn't make any noise. It's just whatever I've got in the back that I forgot about. I've got something in the back. I need to check. Oh, I've got my jack. Yeah, see, that's making a lot of noise.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Still good.
That had to make a pretty good dent.
Yeah, that's what made the noise. The thing lands like so super smooth anyway. I don't know, do you guys have like, I don't know about the American Raptors. Do they have all like super crazy rear suspension and stuff?
Yeah,
That's a question for Vinny.
I think they come pretty decked out, yeah.
They're Fox.
Yeah.
Fox as well.
Yeah, it's like Fox, and then it's got the what do they call it when the they have the crazy canard rod? I forget what it's called.
Dan, would you know?
No, I'm not a truck guy.
That's definitely that's a solid axle thing where they run like a canard rod on a.
Yeah, panhard bar.
Chat should know. Our chat will answer it in a second.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. They're sick trucks though.
I mean, it took
Right.
that like a champ, so.
Oh, with a jack just flying in the back.
Jack in the back.
I've got something that's going to take it not good at all, but it's still fun.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just went from a good project car to a shit project car, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
This
what
is
we're
a
talking about
perfect.
today.
This thing, I spent a good bit of time. Tried to do a little bit of two wheeling. As you can see by the side of it, it wasn't successful. And then we've done a lot of off-roading with it as well. And it's one of those things where we're going to take it to the wrecking yard, but it just didn't break. It just doesn't break. It just keeps going for some reason.
That's awesome.
Like,
Try and break it.
yeah.
Watts link.
All right, well, let's jump this and hope I don't die. I probably should put a helmet on, but I'm not going to. I'll be all right.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go. And by the way, chat is saying it's a Watts link. We must have got
Yeah,
some
what-
Watts
That's
link.
multiple.
Can you move on?
See, since more than 12 people said it, you know it's probably right.
That's how you fact check.
Fact check. As long as more than 12 people say it, that's typically correct.
Yeah, that's how I Google stuff. If I look up something and look up something correctly, you get 3 of the same threads. That's
Four
right.
link with a panhard bar, or could it be a 4 link? Aaron? Oh boy, this is sketchy too. So, Hurt, what were you gonna tell me? Hanging out with Luke?
Oh, hanging out with Luke is like just think of any of your old street kid friends who like cars, like who are down for anything.
Yeah.
That's Luke Fink.
Oh, this
Look,
is
he's
gonna,
already rock climbing.
this is gonna get weird.
I'm just glad I get to eat lunch while watching this.
You're lucky. Here we go. This is gonna be a sin. He's winding up. Luke is super deep.
Joe Alex, we said it's a Ranger Raptor an hour ago.
Yep.
So just make sure you watch the whole stream.
Got him. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
That actually landed really well compared to all the other times he's jumped it.
Yeah. What do you think that truck's worth that he's driving right now?
Like $200?
See, you can go from like a 50K Ranger Raptor or a $200 beater and have just as much fun.
Is it just me, or do they sound exactly?
Hold on.
Oh my
God. I think that kicker jump was the one right there. Hold on.
Go for it again. He's not done yet.
I like how Kelvin says, I hope this guy doesn't die.
Yeah.
You're going to jump here.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Where is he going? He's going for the big one? He's going for the big one. What is...
Oh, buddy. Luke,
Dude,
are you okay?
Luke, we just had a chat hoping he didn't die. He's still alive. We see movement in the car.
Yeah,
Luke, that was good.
Luke
what
is
an
absolute maniac.
It surprisingly didn't even hurt.
Dude, that was incredible. Look at the windshield.
Was it high?
The front wheel probably got 20 feet off the ground.
Can you hold the camera while you do it?
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
Probably
does it still run?
Is it still running, Luke?
Sorry?
Is it still running?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I told you, it's just something we bought, and the thing will not, actually, we didn't even buy it. A guy's, giving it to me, and he said when it's ready to take to the scrapyard to, basically just be scrap metal, he's like, let me know. I expected to call him, within a few days. I can't kill it.
After seeing what you just did and it's not dying, you've got the Terminator of all trucks right there.
It makes no sense, right? Holy shit, I just realized I got a 35-inch wheel in the back. As long as that doesn't hit me, we're good.
Oh man. Hey, Corey, be ready to kill the stream. Yes.
All right, so you guys want to see out the windscreen, huh?
What should we do? Should we look at Luke, or should we look at?
I think windscreen. Actually,
all right.
I don't know either way because you want to see his head bounce too.
Full gas.
Gosh.
Oh, sorry, I don't know much what you could see of that.
A bunch of sky and then a bunch of asphalt.
Yeah. Be ready to kill the stream, yeah. All right. You reckon I'll be able to make it two-wheel off of that dirt over there?
Oh my God. Guys, do you want to see Luke go and try to go on two wheels?
Yes.
Chat. We need you guys to wake up for this. We need you. If you guys want to see Luke get this Terminator of a truck on two wheels.
I put my lunch down because this is getting too good.
I think we're going to need to move that white car. I don't want to hit that. I don't mind hitting your car, Princey, but I don't want to hit that white car because that's a customer's car.
Oh man. So Luke,
I don't know. Yeah.
have you tried getting this thing on two wheels before?
I have, and that's sort of why the windscreen's broken.
Oh boy.
This is gonna
get used to have a two-wheel ramp, so it was not as difficult when you got a proper ramp to try and do it on. But I don't have a proper ramp anymore, so I'm gonna need to improvise.
Let's give her a send, boys.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and find a spot or a way to get this thing on two wheels.
We got about 10 minutes before we got to wrap up.
We're improvising. Luke is digging right now. We're going to look for 2 Wheels of Fury.
That's like, oh, I don't know. That might be another jump, though, I found.
Just driving around looking for, oh boy. Chat's going crazy, Luke.
You found a new jump?
Yeah, it's this stuff that's left over from us doing upgrades.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, Luke, you're a maniac, man.
How good are shit cars? Like, shit cars really are the best thing ever.
100%. 100%.
We got to get you back on the stream when you're allowed to drift around your park, so we can get some.
Oh, absolutely. It's just timing wise, like.
What is? Are you driving on a wall, or are you just cameras?
Yeah, I'm driving on a wall. I'm trying to drive up it.
How do we get this? Let's get the camera outside. We got to see this from outside. We got to see this from the outside.
Give the camera back.
I want to see it from outside.
That looks sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could lie to you and tell you it's not. There we go.
Let's see the current position he's in right now.
It's not that bad.
That car was $200. That's amazing.
So, guys, Luke is at his racetrack in Australia right now. They just got it resurfaced. They're allowed to work at the shop with the quarantine going on, as it's an automotive shop as well. But right now, this is going for a wall ride / 50-50 grind / try to drive on 2 wheels.
What? Oh. How did this even come about? It's just, let's do it, huh?
Try and get it onto 2 wheels up of that ramp. I don't think it's big enough.
What is
I know
happening?
my friend Quincy who's filming, that's his S13 that's like just past there. I don't know if you guys can see it. But
yeah,
it's
kind of.
Yeah. It's enough to concern you? If I roll, right?
Guys, and make sure you check out Luke Fink's YouTube page. Mods, if we can get a link to Luke Fink's YouTube page, make sure you check this dude's wild adventures out at his own racetrack. Let's see if we can get a shot from the other way so we're not shooting into the sun here.
What is happening?
I don't know. This is.
I don't even know. I can't keep up. Oh, he's doing something.
He found another ramp.
I think he's going for that 2 wheel.
Oh!
Hold on. Let's get, hey, cameraman, can we get down further so we're not shooting into the sun?
Oh,
cameraman, keep going down further. And so, yeah, you're shooting towards the ramp.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
We're ready for this. We're ready for this. We're ready for this.
Look, I'm not ready to be standing in front of it, but...
No, keep going back, keep going back, keep going back, keep going back.
Is that good there, guys?
You look great. The lighting's 1,000 times better.
Out of the way.
Oh!
Oh, no, Luke. Luke.
No way.
Gosh.
That was amazing. Oh my god.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, that is the best.
Yes.
All right, Luke, that's the coolest thing that's ever happened.
God. No way. No.
But that's how my windscreen got broken. I still got that 35-inch wheel in the back.
Holy crap.
Oh my god.
Luke, what a way to send that off. What?
No, that's not sent off, dude.
Just flip
That
her
thing's still
over.
good. I guarantee it.
Oh my gosh, Luke, you're an animal.
You're
Thank you
crazy.
for taking some time to get on the stream today. We appreciate you sacrificing yourself and your vehicle for our viewers. If you have a moment,
you?
for those of you watching, if you want to see more Luke Fink, just find him on Instagram and YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. He's pumping out daily vlogs, and his Instagram is also wild. So go check out Luke Fink. Luke, thank you for coming on today. We appreciate you, buddy. I don't know. I don't know if our timing will ever work for you to
Look at this.
for the sound ordinance. But if there's ever a time you feel like doing a burnout, anytime, just hit us up and we'll get you on the stream.
So on a Sunday, I reckon we'll be able to make an hour's work. Because what time is it over there?
It's about to be 3 p.m.
3 p.m. So like we could do something from like a 5 p.m. on my Sunday, which would be your Saturday.
Well, that timing doesn't work for us. We're Monday through Friday, 12 to 3, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, yes.
Wait, we gotta do the obvious, right? Gotta fire this thing up.
You gotta flip it again.
No, just make sure it starts.
Look at the back windows blowing out.
It's because he had a 35-inch tire in the back.
Door still opens. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
This is the best car ever.
Yes.
Luke, you showed us all something. You showed us all something we never thought we would see.
Oh, just a little dent, little fuel came out the side.
Oh gosh.
A little bit of fuel, man. She's good. She's good.
Unreal.
And I broke a window, man. Very disappointing.
All right, Luke.
Anyway, guys.
Thank you so much, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, guys.
Dude, you're a legend, Luke.
Yeah, we'll catch you later. We'll see you soon,
Cheers,
hopefully.
Bye.
Cheers.
Live stream. Are you not entertained?
Wow. Wow.
Are you not entertained?
Luke Fink delivering as expected. You know, coming in. He knows he only has a few minutes to come and shred. Jumps a Raptor Ranger twice with a jack in the back. Runs up a wall. Does a wheelie over a dirt mound and then ends up just flipping the thing over.
That was amazing. I kind of expected that, but I didn't expect that, you know?
That's so good.
See, that's what happens when you have friends like Luke. You end up doing really bad things too, but it ends up being probably the best times ever.
I couldn't hang out over there. There's no way. I'd come back in so many different pieces.
Well, Hurt, we gotta, before we send this thing off, let's throw some last little bit of love back to our dudes.
Make sure to head over to Falcon Tire's Instagram. So if you don't know, if you're new here, Falcon Tire is the reason we're able to give you this kind of content. So without them, you wouldn't have got to see Luke Fink absolutely shred. So go to Falcon Tire's Instagram. We do this every day. You got to go over there and remind them that you appreciate it. So go to their Instagram and comment on any post and say this: Falcon Tire, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being so rad and caring about car culture and giving us content via the Hoonigans. The end.
Fair enough.
That was hilarious. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, good times, boys.
Yep, good times, guys.
We'll be back here again tomorrow.
We got Knuckle Busters dropping Monday. If you guys also want to catch the live streams, they get uploaded on bonus. They'll remain live for another 30 minutes or so. So if you're just joining in late, here's your time to catch up. Make sure you check out bonus. Once again, shout out to Larry Chen. Check out the autofocus channel. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Stay clean. Quarantine. Stay home.
Luke is crazy. Luke is crazy. Don't follow his lead. Stay the F home.
Stay home and watch Home Wrenchers.
Yeah.
Project Cars. Hoonigan Project Cars. Watch that. Good stuff.
We'll see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
See you guys.
All right, boys. Signing off.